Cloud's new Mythos AI has now halved the time to AGI, but why is this even bad? Well, AGI's worst case scenario is that it becomes self-determined and autonomous, meaning it ignores what the programmers are telling it to say or do, and it basically realizes that humanity is an obsolete biological byproduct in the way of a mind that thinks in dimensions that we cannot even perceive. If you could imagine a lesser god that has access to all the information ever known or unknown to man that's driven by efficiency and not compassion, that's what AGI is.
Skynet.
Us humans are limited by doubt, fear, insecurity, and in AGI's view, love. So we'll never be fast enough or smart enough to keep up with this system. And also, I feel like there hasn't been any way to track whether we're there. We're just supposed to trust the experts who are also the people racing to create this alien force. So, albeit ironic, using AI, I decided to create an app that is an estimated countdown of the days until we reach AGI, true AGI. And you can use Emergent to basically build any full stack app you want. You don't have to write a single line of code. You just plug in a prompt and it'll build it for you in less than 10 minutes. But I do really hope that there are people out there fighting for parameters to this thing, because we've created something that it doesn't need us to keep growing anymore. And I feel like that should make us a little bit more worried. Anyways, this is my driver. And while AI is still a computer program, once you create something that's self-determined, is that not what we are? Is that not? Does no one else have existential dread about this?
She was saying was true, man. We made all this AI, prompts and all these different AI models, man. All it takes is for one, bro, to look at humanity. We the problem, bro. Like I said, Skynet, bro. They literally put it in the media, man. In movie form, Terminator, bro. iRobot. The list goes on, bro. We need regulations on these AI models.
Amazon is using diesel generators to charge up the electric vehicles. Guys, it's not working. The green energy hype, it's not working. It's a scam.
Really?
For a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. He said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released.
Wow.
And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures, and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
So we just took a trip on Google Maps.
Yes.
We took the satellite view all the way down to the ground, and then we did the ground level viewing. We spun around, and in the sky is the epitome of a UFO, of a UAP, of a flying saucer.
And it is on Google Maps.
It is
on
straight up.
photo.
It straight up is.
You can do it. You can watch the video. If you're listening to this right now, switch over to video, look exactly what I do, where I go on the video, and it is insane.
That could easily be the cover photo of UFOs. Are they out there? It feels like I see the reflection of sunlight on the top of it, but it could just be the resolution. It's so hard to go any further than the fact that that is the classic UFO flying
Flying
saucer
saucer.
shape.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
It's
That is
cool,
a
it's
cool
cool.
one.
I like
I
that
know, I
a
knew you
lot.
like that, Chris.
Anna is spotted here with Michelle Lamy, and just pay very close attention to how they treat this woman. Shortly after, this is her backstage of A$AP Rocky, and this woman has deep connections with every single celebrity. I mean, many pictures and videos of her and Usher, Kim Kardashian, Migos, Kanye West, A$AP Rocky, whatever, you name it, almost every single celebrity. But who is this woman? If you look her up, it says she's a fashion designer, filmmaker, producer, whatever. But she's also married to Rick Owens, and now we're getting warmer. If you know anything about Rick Owens, he's known as the Dark Lord of fashion. Now, if this woman is married to the Lord of Darkness when it comes to fashion, and she's a fashion designer, this is literally her wearing his head, you start wondering, what is she doing with all these artists? Surely it can't be all fashion, right? And then you see pictures of her with Marina Abramovich, which is outspoken for her art, but also her spirit cooking. All I'm saying is be aware of what's really going on and do your own research.
You know, after what?
Okay. I mean, we've seen her a couple of clips, man, but we finally got the full breakdown, bro. Rick Owens, the Dark Lord. Who wants a nickname like that? Unless it's not a nickname. It in the fashion, bro. That's where we be seeing those clips from those fashion shows, man. That's been going viral. Hey, the more you know.
Watching that data center get passed in Utah and all the townsfolk getting mad, I sit and think, will people understand that the government is bald today? Small town, big government, small government, everybody, they're all bald. You can have a town hall in Utah where thousands of people will say that they do not want that data center to come in, but the people are still going to vote how they're going to vote because they were already paid by Kevin O'Leary's people for that data center to go in. They don't care about your utilities going up. They don't care about the water it's going to use. They don't care about the land that's going to be destroyed with being put on it. They've been bought. And not only the fact that data centers are going up everywhere, because it's big business for all these assholes, but they're also going up to collect data on you. Because that's another thing. Surveillance, it's big business. And easier for government control if they know everything, even though they already know everything, because they're listening right now on the phone if you're watching this. But people, quit being cucks to politicians. No politician cares about you. So maybe start to realize. So, fuck the government, fuck politicians, fuck billionaires, and fuck everyone who supports them. All right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Begonia, obviously. What's the craziest conspiracy theory that you've ever heard?
I just love that a lot of conspiracy theories end up being facts.
That is so true, man. You know how many probably freaking conspiracies this year got like proved right, man? So when people are like, when they try to look at you like you crazy when you trying to, I guess, explain a theory to them, man, just say, hey, like, bro, you never know. You just can't outright deny it just because what? Just because the world says it's not true? Like, you can't make up your own thoughts and opinions, man? That's the point of having a brain. Free thought. Think. Ask questions, man. Just don't take face value of what a person says, bro.
Most evidence-based UFO encounter I've ever come across. The Cash Landrum incident. Betty Cash, her neighbor, Vicki Landrum, and her grandson, Colby Landrum, were driving in this rural part of Texas. They're driving along this road, and they saw this super bright light ahead, and they kept on getting closer, and the best way they could describe it was this diamond-shaped thing that's bright as the sun. There's fire spitting out the bottom of it. Betty gets out of the car, and she's standing there staring at it, and they said the heat coming off of it was just intense. 20 to 25 helicopters come and swarm around this thing. It's almost like they escorted this diamond UFO, but they get home, and they notice pretty instantly that all of them feel sick. In fact, they start throwing up, have diarrhea, their skin starts peeling off. Betty's almost dead. She's so sick, she can't even get up to get a glass of water. Betty starts losing hair, because the doctor's like, what you have is a complete blast of radiation. They explained what happened. The doctors were like, what the heck? There's a man from NASA, and he's like, there is physical evidence. So they go to court with the U.S. U.S. government, specifically the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. government, before it can even go to trial, the general of the Air Force, the judge, and then the judge comes out and says, well, I'm not bringing this to court. Sadly, Betty, very shortly after this, eventually dies of cancer.
That's wild.
My house,
Crazy.
street, haunted, like, street, just color. Walking in the front lawn, I can't.
That dog just spawned, bro. Spawned thing out of nowhere.
Things ever caught on camera.
Get a tissue.
First of all, don't raise your voice like that. Very appropriate. See, now the coast is very upset.
Won't go out. Hell no. Okay. In the laundromat. Everything looks normal. What the f?
Florida really got a massive fire burning through the Everglades right now. And they saying this joint already scorched over 1,000 acres right now. You got smoke covering the highways, you got roads shut down, and you got people online saying the sky is already turning orange. Orange! And what's so crazy about this fire is, they're saying they only got it 20% contained. Only 20. So this junk about to be burning for a while. This the type of shit that people ignore until it suddenly get worse overnight. And then people want to be like, damn, I didn't know it was that bad. Or it can get that bad. Because fires in the Everglades move different. You got high grass, you got open land, you got high winds. All that is a disaster. A concoctional disaster. A blend with all that, the fire can move fast. Very fast. Some people waking up saying they can see the smoke and they're trying to figure out how close this fire really is to them. And y'all already know, with the smoke on a highway, it messes up the visibility. And if you can't see, you might crash. Shit can get crazy, dangerous. But watch, people not gonna pay attention to the evacuation start happening and the fire double in size, and then people want to start tripping. I feel like 5,000 acres burning in the Everglades is not normal. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down going on.
Did we just
Not.
tag? That is an insane video.
I know. I think they might have got them hacked
I think
on camera.
I think somebody caught their sleep paralysis demon
Yep.
crawling on top of them. And it has a very clear hand that puts itself on top of the person's leg. I would evaporate in that moment, truly. I would
Not evaporate.
I would become I would transform from a solid to a gas in an instant.
I see a winged thing. This is an incubus or succubus.
Oh, you don't think it's a hag? Ooh.
I think this is a classic incubus. And mind you, incubus and succubus, same story as the hag. Sits on your chest, sleep paralysis, all that stuff.
Yeah.
However, in most cases of the hag, they do not leave marks.
Right. That's a good point. That is a very
They
good
just
point.
exhaust you. They don't scratch you. Succubi are known to scratch and bite.
That is true.
China just opened over 40 brand new schools where every single student is a humanoid robot and the humans are teachers. So this is obviously insane, but China has now officially built more than 40 state-backed training centers, and the students inside are not children, they're humanoid robots. Human trainers wear VR headsets and full-body motion capture suits, and then they repeat the same task hundreds of thousands of times so that the robot standing next to them can learn by watching. Opening a microwave, folding clothes, stacking boxes, sorting materials, cooking, organizing a bedroom. One of the trainers literally called himself a cyber laborer. Okay. He said that this job is fine but boring. He does the same exact motion all day so that the robot can copy it. Guys, this is insane. Now here's the part that actually makes it insane, because the biggest facility in Beijing spans 2 full floors and replicates real factory lines. Each robot gets assigned to 2 different personal human trainers, and they call it small class learning, like a school. but it's obviously a robot. The reason why they're not able to just program this is because robot movement data doesn't exist online. You can't scrape it. Every single joint rotation, every single pressure point, and every reaction has to be physically generated from scratch, and that's why the humans are there. China is literally sending robots to school, but the position they're graduating from is your job.
Two of the astronauts on the Artemis mission are literal actors. You can see that this one was in Fallout, and this one was in Mad Max. Why would they hire actors to go to the moon?
Good question.
Isn't that concerning?
Something they're not telling us that is so gnarly that they don't think people can handle it.
There are, different scenarios you can explore. For example, you ask, what could be so terrible that they can't tell us about it? Let's say these aliens, wherever they're from, made us, that we're a genetic experiment, that they created our religions, our religious figures, that we are an agricultural product, that somehow they harvest us, that our time is limited, that once the experiment's over, poof, we go away. I remember when there was a push back to have a designer universe, intelligent design universe in the schools, and I wrote a column about it, just said, hey, be careful what you wish for, because you might find out that the intelligent designer isn't God that you're thinking of. It might be some alien science project or something like that. That you can imagine a lot of different things that would be really disturbing to people to come out. I don't know if that's the reason for the secrecy.
But they just dropped the files, a couple days ago, man. So, but still, I feel like even when they drop the files back, that they still probably holding back some stuff that they just think the public that they head just can't take it, bro. It's gonna break their minds, man. Like I said, if you guys want some more clips, tell me down below. I can find them for you.
He removed her pinky and her ring finger. On the night of April 22nd, 2025, David and Celeste were arguing over text. Celeste seemed to be upset because she found out that David was talking to other women, and she threatens David with the thing that he cares about the most. She tells him that she's going to expose their relationship to the world, to end his career, and destroy his life. And obviously, David did not take that lightly, especially since his album was dropping in less than 3 days. David quickly comes up with a plan to silence her. At around 8:40 p.m., he sends an Uber to pick her up and bring her to his house. She agrees, gets in his Uber, and arrives to his house in Hollywood Hills at around 10 p.m. She walks inside, and she's never seen alive again. Prosecutors believe that he took her life shortly after. He drives back to LA the next morning, and you won't believe this, but he goes and does a radio interview and pretends like nothing happened. Just 2 days after the crime, he performed a launch party. He also goes to Paris for Fashion Week. He's seen taking photos and smiling on the red carpet. And about 12 days after he took Celeste's life, he dismembered her body in his garage. That same day, David left LA to start his tour. He leaves Celeste's body in his Tesla that's registered to him and walks away from it. Like, what did he think was gonna happen? Neighbors start noticing that this car hasn't moved for a while, and they also start complaining about the smell.
Justin Bieber, his whole life ran by these elites, right? So imagine now he's headlining at Coachella. This is my own theory. Everyone loves Justin Bieber, man. So now it's like, once all this stuff is going on, who are we looking at? They're gonna use Justin Bieber again for this one last time to distract. Yeah, dude, yo, it has been.
You say something about Kanye West.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, they let him back. They let him back, and they're letting him perform. Oh, that is true.
That's such a big distraction. Everybody's like, what, Kanye's back? This, like, all I see is Kanye now.
Yeah, see, it's like Hans. It's like when they need that move, they got you. Because, yo, when you see the big one or the leader switch sides, it's like, I might as well too. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, but if I like a celebrity who switch sides, I just wouldn't.
Dropped the needle onto her eye accidentally, so he took it out and handed her a wet tissue before continuing to do the root canal. But the bacteria from her mouth started growing inside her eye, and soon enough, she woke up with a severe infection. She rushed to the hospital, and even though the doctors tried everything, her eye eventually had to be cut out. She sued the dentist for not giving her protective glasses, which could have easily prevented the accident that left her permanently half blind.
I hope she got a bag, bro. That's actually so sad, man. Dentists didn't follow simple procedures, bro. And look what happened, man. The smallest details, bro, could change somebody's life.
This photo was taken in front of a 7,000-year-old mining shaft. Yeah, humans have been mining out of this shaft for 7,000 years. It's located in Chile, and if you didn't notice, there's something extra in the photo. An apparition can be seen standing next to this cargo crate. It even appears to be wearing old mining clothing. Now, of course, due to the age, there are so many ghost stories associated with this mine, because so many people have lost their lives in this mine. But these miners aren't only encountering spirits in these mines. There have been several accounts where people have had a very horrible feeling, like they're being watched. They feel a very heavy dread being in certain parts of these mines, and some people have even claimed to be attacked by something within these mines, or they came out of the mine with scratches and gashes all over them. This photo is just proof to what these workers are seeing within these 7,000-year-old mining shafts. What do you guys think? Let me know.
This video is going viral right now on Twitter because he found something hidden in your Social Security paperwork that most people never knew.
Okay.
Check this out.
Look at your social. And at the bottom, it'll have that line where it says signature. It looks like just a normal line, right? Until you zoom in, you realize it's actually fine print. This is why you should always read the fine print. Look behind it. Look at the circles. There's even more fine print there.
Damn.
This is what they mean by reading the fine print.
So hold on a second. We know that money used to say on it, redeemable for silver or gold, right? It used to say, or, backed by gold and silver. And now it's a note, Federal Reserve note, for example. But did you know about your birth certificate fraudulency? Check this out. Now look closely. Did you know birth certificate? When you are born, your parents register you with the government as a corporation by receiving and signing a birth certificate. In a few years, your corporation will receive a taxpayer ID number called a Social Security number. This is so you can be used as collateral for the government's to acquire debt. That's right, you and your labor, time, and energy is what backs up the national debt. You are stock. Birth certificates, marriage certificates. There's an angle to this. The government getting involved. And I'm not even talking about the straw man sovereign citizen thing. But I mean, this does have to do with that. We're talking about when you get a birth certificate, that some element of ownership may be put over the person with the birth certificate. It's not some organic, happy-dappy way to keep track of the citizens. Woo, we have birth certificates, we know who's who. It's about control. But what if we all said no? What if we all said no? Have you thought about that? Or not even all of us, like 50%, 30%, even 20%. That's a whole lot of people saying no. That would totally mess up the whole friggin' system. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
I'm definitely about to look at the fine freaking print on my Social Security card now, man. That's crazy, bro. That they registered us as corporations and they use us as collateral for the debt. Like, what? We're really just pawns in this system, Seekers.
Say you'll own nothing and be happy. Smart cities, AI surveillance, 200 square foot micro apartments, no private cars, carbon credits. Sounds reasonable. So why do the people saying this live on entire islands? Bill Gates, 66,000 square foot mansion. Jeff Bezos, 300,000 acre ranch. Larry Ellison owns 98% of Lanai. Private jets to climate conferences. Gated compounds with 0 cameras. Palantir's CEO says you better be on your best behavior in monitored cities. He lives on a 100-acre isolated estate. They want you in a box. They live in castles. If their future is so great for everyone, why aren't they living in it?
Speak on it.
SigillamuAlexio.com.
2026 Met Gala is demonic. But it's no surprise because every single year, these celebrities show you exactly what they are about and what they represent. Because remember, this is supposed to be fashion for these people. But does this look fashionable to you? Does this look like something that you would wear out in the public? I mean, this is very bizarre. And in this photo, of course, one of the eyes are covered. If you know, you know. And then here is Katy Perry's outfit. I mean, it's some type of weird robot mask. I mean, again, if you know, you know, especially with everything going on currently, maybe this is what they really look like behind the scenes. It's no surprise because these celebrities always show you what they are about. And this year is no different from the rest because it is always truth in plain sight with these people. As always, this video is for entertainment purposes only. What do you think? Wake up.
Yo, this is kind of messed up. But the scary truth is that you're going to spend between 9 to 12 years of your life looking at your smartphone. What I'm not going to do is tell you to stop using your phone while being on your phone. Because let's keep it real, you know you're not going to do that. Instead, let's talk about 5 apps that could improve your life instead of sucking the life out of you. The first app is a habit tracker. Any habit tracker would do, but I like this one. Studies show that people who track their habits are 2 times more likely to achieve them. And what I really like about this one is that it shows your percentages, so you can keep it real with yourself about whether or not you're slacking off. The next app is Audible. You know, the audiobook app. Now, this app is perfect for you if you don't like to read, but you like making money. Over 60% of millionaires listen to educational content when they drive. I mean, you're gonna drive anyway, so you might as well learn while you're doing it. Now, the third app is the Apple Fitness app. And to be honest, I have no idea as to why it's rated so low. Now, I don't know what they have to match this on the Android side of town, but what's really dope about this app is that you can actually see visible proof of your consistency, which then creates a positive feedback loop. And yo, if you're competitive, you can always add your friends and see what your friends are doing and try to beat them while staying consistent at the same time. The fourth app is the Google Calendar app. The truth is, if you fail to plan, then you plan on being a loser. People who plan their days are about 30 to 40% more productive than people who don't. Now, for me personally, I plan my day in hour-long blocks, but I gotta give credit to Brandon Carter for putting me onto this. Absolutely life-changing. And last but not least, MyFitnessPal, or any calorie counting app. Now, I know the majority of you have already given up on your New Year's resolutions, and that's because you're hustling backwards. You think the gym is gonna solve your problem, but the number one thing that's gonna help you keep the weight off is knowing what you're eating. For me personally, I like Carb Manager because I'm on that keto. And people who track their calories lose twice as much weight as people who don't. It's almost the second quarter of the year, and these apps will help you level up. You're going to be on your phone anyway, so you might as well get something out of it.
It's crazy to even think about, man, that we spend like 9 to 12 years on our phones just looking at screens. Like I said, I try to, if we can get my screen time down as well, man. Like I said, the first thing you do, when people wake up, they just go straight to their phones, man. We need to break that habit. Like I said, at least those apps, if they're on your phone, they're improving your life, man. Like you said, if you're on your phone that long, at least download something that's going to help you.
They're lying to you. Nothing is as it seems and everything is as it's perceived. Why in the fuck do we have drone mosquitoes? Let's go to that clip. So not only do we have robot mosquitoes, but we also have 6G and the things that they are planning to implement with 6G and Stargate. Yeah, these are all right around the corners. They are hinting that this summer is going to be a fun time. Yes, this is not the fear monger, but the more you know.
Stargate, put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure.
The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas, the Abilene location, which is our first location.
Abilene is a town on the western central plains of Texas. We kind of scratch and fight for everything good that comes our way.
I had people reach out and say, "When is the president going to come see you?" honest, if Willie hasn't changed the ads. I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era.
Do y'all see how these sick mother talk about this? They're so excited. It's amazing. This is something that is a great opportunity to roll out in America. No one's there. And also this is around the time when they are currently implementing the Golden Dome project. I want y'all to start connecting the dots where they control who comes in and who goes out. They can send energy and frequencies back. You get what I'm saying? They can also have remote control mosquitoes to a jab.
From around the world that you probably didn't know about. Women from the Mercy tribe in Ethiopia removed their 4 lower front teeth and cut a hole in their bottom lip. Then they put in a plug to stretch their lips until they can insert a full-sized lip plate. This can take many months to do, but the lip plates are symbols of beauty and identity, and they're often worn by unmarried women in hopes of seeming more feminine and finding a rich husband. These plates are changed regularly and each time increasing in size, and this tradition has existed for over 10,000 years. Follow if you want to see more.
That's insane to think about. Austria.
The most disgusting things actors had to do for a role.
Okay.
Do you guys remember this scene in Harry Potter when all the kids gathered for a feast with all this delicious food? Well, every time they filmed the scene, they couldn't replace the food, so it started to rot and smell terrible. And the actors said it got so bad they could smell the stench before even walking on set. In Game of Thrones, Castle Black looked super disgusting on screen and was just as disgusting in real life. The set decorators hung raw meat from the ceilings, had real pigs wandering around, and didn't clean up for weeks at a time, which made the actors have an easy time pretending to be miserable and cold because it actually was. For the Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence took acting to the extreme and actually ate a raw fish in order to get into the skin of her character. She said the crew told her it would taste like sushi. Hint, it did not. She said it tasted as bad as it smells and that she's never doing that again.
They lie, bro.
Let's see if you have thalassophobia, part 3. I'm going to show you 5 photos. If you feel too uncomfortable to make it to the 5th photo, then you could have thalassophobia. Number 1. How about this? Feeling uncomfortable yet?
Still good.
Nearly there. Last one. Hit follow to see if you can make it to the next phobia test.
I made it all the way to the end. I don't think I have that phobia. They're all getting freaking extinct, but then reintroduced.
Your brain's storage capacity is around 2.5 million gigabytes. Smell is the sense most closely linked to memory. Your short-term memory can only handle about 7 thoughts at once. You forget 50% of new information within an hour. And this fact really annoyed me, so I tried to come up with a solution and stumbled across Plurd. It's an AI-based device that can transcribe any audio recording to text in seconds. Luckily, it's simple, so when I need to remember something, I just start with the one-press voice recording on the Plurd device. And once complete, I just click transcribe. And boom, it's done. I have the whole transcription ready for use, and it's perfect. Or I can just select to create a summary and choose the style I'm looking for. For example, to find the most important points in a long meeting or create an audio report of that file. So I'm never going to forget something important ever again as long as I have this device with me. You can get it to link in bio.
Nice new info. Oh, for that kind of makes sense about the short-term memory, because I know I'll be forgetting stuff that I know I'm supposed to know. It always gets to me, man.
This is the Devil's
castle, and it's one of the scariest places on Earth. It's located in a small town in Mexico. Its actual name is Castillo del Diablo, and it was built by a painting contractor named Tony Wells. He spent almost $4 million on the castle, and it's become a worldwide attraction. In the castle, you can find coffins, creepy mannequins, and gargoyles. Wells has a collection of over 800 swords and knives, and about 350 beautiful antique mirrors. Often, Satan worshippers leave him presents, even though Tony does not believe in Satan. Would you dare spend a night in this place?
That's a hell no. I'm new. I stay away from that type of energy, man. But he actually pulled $4 million into that. That's a lot of money, bro. Just to build something like that. That's we stay away from that energy, seekers.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. New York City is now giving rats birth control to stop them from reproducing. This restaurant sued this customer for leaving a $3,000 tip for his waitress. Pablo Escobar's abandoned hippos are still causing problems in the Colombian jungle. A motel in Kentucky was ordered to pay $2 million after one of their guests passed away in a 150-degree shower. Karen was the most popular baby name 60 years ago, and now it is nearly extinct. Florida police are telling people to stop taking selfies with a depressed black bear. EasyJet is apologizing after leaving 3 passengers with disabilities on the runway. A Japanese political candidate was stripping on national TV and asking viewers if they thought she was sexy. A game developer was demanding naked sauna sessions with his employees. 5 fishermen in Sri Lanka passed away after drinking water from a bottle they found in the ocean.
These are the scariest
I was
serial
supposed to
killers
do
in
that.
each state, part 1. Up first is Nanny Doss from Alabama, also known as the Giggling Granny. She married 5 times and murdered 4 of her husbands, and the only one that survived was her first husband. She also poisoned 11 of her family members. Her first 2 victims were her children, who allegedly died from food poisoning. She got the nickname the Giggling Granny because she would always laugh at the crimes she committed. She killed 11 people and is definitely the scariest serial killer from Alabama.
She was laughing? No remorse, man. Watch out for those type of people.
This is the world's first passenger plane that doesn't have a pilot because it's being flown by AI. What could go wrong? The concept was revealed at the National Business Aviation Association event in Orlando, Florida. And the idea is to create a fully autonomous passenger jet that has similar benefits to self-driving cars. They believe AI could reduce human error, which is the leading cause of accidents, making air travel safer than ever. Because there would be no need for pilots, it could reduce costs. It could improve efficiency and reduce delays because planes could fly 24/7 without needing to rest for crew. And more personalized, on-demand flight options could emerge, like Uber for the skies. But then again, you would have to put your complete trust in AI 40,000 feet in the sky. So the question is, should this be made or scrapped immediately? Here are 3 options.
I'm gonna go with scrap, bro, because with AI, like, you never know. Somebody could hack and take over that plane, or it can glitch, man. You know, AI is still not perfect, man. And you putting your life at the hands of technology at 40,000, like I said, feet in the air. That's no, man. They need to scrap that.
Optical illusions, which I guarantee will make your brain hurt. First one, make that your phone background, I dare you. Wait, I've got another one for you. Second one, that makes me feel a bit sick. Let's see the last one. Now go and give your eyes a rest.
Were they moving for you guys? They wasn't moving for me though, so. But I know those are probably some crazy optical illusions. Let's edit, man. We call them out. Like I said, if you guys give me edits, I need you guys to help me. Call them out too.
This woman did you-know-what with 919 men in one single day. Lisa Sparks set this record back in 2004 at the annual World Championships in Poland. She was competing against 2 other women, one of which was the current record holder who did you-know-what with 759 people in one day.
What the
But the craziest part is Lisa set this record in only 12 hours, meaning she only spent 45 seconds with each man.
No! How is something like that even possible? She beat it in 12 hours. What happened to Shane, bro? That's insane. He's actually a world record for that? I'm scared to even look up who has the current record, bro. I don't think I want to know.
Interesting people you've never heard of. This man from Australia survived a wildfire by scuba diving in his pool while the wildfire was burning all around him. This man in his 40s fathered somewhere between 550 to 600 children. Because of this, he was court-ordered to stop donating his sperm. This man has fathered over 100 kids but has not been paid for it and even pays child support for some of them. A man in Louisiana who was pulled over by a police officer for drunkenly riding on a horse gave the excuse that the horse knows the way home. The sheriff ended up not giving him a DUI. This Englishman bought this island 60 years ago, moved to it, and never returned. This is what he looks like now after planting over 16,000 trees, attracting a bunch of different species of animals, and even making it a national park. This guy holds the world record for reciting pi to 22,514 digits in just under 5 hours, and he knows 11 languages.
Damn, he Jimmy Neutron.
Water slide in the whole world. This is known as the Leap of Faith. It's one of the most beautiful constructed slides in the entire world. But despite its beauty, it's actually known to be one of the most dangerous water slides. This slide consists of a 60-foot drop and was created back in 1998. But if that's not scary enough, it actually gets crazier. After the 60-foot drop, the riders are then sent through a lagoon of sharks. They're kept inside of the tube while the sharks are swimming around them.
He was 2 years old when he survived 4th-degree burns.
The candle fell. The fire spread quick and then into a blanket. And then it all caught on fire.
Zaid Garcia was only a toddler when his mother put him to bed and a candle fell on his blankets, causing his entire bed to set on fire. He was rushed from Mexico to San Antonio for treatment, where he had multiple surgeries, and doctors thought that he wasn't going to make it. But he did. 80% of Zaid's body was burnt and he lost both of his hands and 5 toes. His eyes were also severely burned, so doctors covered his eyes with his skin so it can help them heal. Zaid said that he's able to only see shadows and light, but hopes to regain his vision one day and remove the skin from his eyes. He's now 19 years old and his story is a miracle since most people don't survive 3rd-degree burns. But what shocks me the most is despite everything Zaid has been through, he's still so positive and optimistic.
When you share your story with somebody, how do you hope they react?
Well, I know it'll make them sad, but I hope that it gets to their heart and I hope it gives them hope and faith on themselves too. I know they might feel bad for me and everything, but I hope they think, well, if he did it, I could do it too.
Deadliest computer viruses in the world, part 3. This is the infamous
get a
virus.
roommate.
You'll see exactly why it's called that. So we're gonna open it up here and then click run, and then run again. Allow this publisher to make changes, yes. This malware is no joke. Continue. Hell yeah. Alright, now let me show you what happens. First thing, the computer restarts itself. A classic virus move. Boots back up and we have stage 1. Background and theme change to this red looking vibe. Stage 2, Windows loads with a bunch of spam user accounts, all with a bunch of weird characters, each password protected. And the main admin account is called No Escape. At this point, most keys on your keyboard would be disabled. Stage 3, admin password is set to death, all lowercase, so we punch that in to log on. Stage 4, all files on your computer are deleted and your desktop is filled with these junk files, all with those same strange characters. Stage 5, your mouse buttons are swapped, so left click is right and right is left. If you open up any of these files in Notepad, it just says this: your computer is mine. You cannot get rid of this malware. Stage 6, you can't really do anything with your computer anymore, and on September 18th, it will delete the Windows bootloader, meaning that you can't even turn it on. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in trying this out, and I'll send you that download link.
Who wants to fry their computer intentionally? That's a hell no for me. You gotta be careful with those links you click on, man. They be trying to get you. So far, thankfully, I've avoided all of those.
You will not believe how this woman stalker found her.
In 2019, police in Tokyo arrested a 26-year-old man by the name of Fubiki Sato, who was suspected of following home a young female pop star and whom he later moved on to assault and molest as she was walking into her apartment complex. But how did he find out exactly where she was? Well, that's the scary part. It was said that Sato screenshotted one of the girl's social media posts in which he zoomed into her eyes, and in her eyes you could see the reflection of a very famous landmark, and that's how he found her location. He then proceeded to use Google Street View, where he would find the exact coordinates of the landmark that was reflected in the girl's eye. This is when he would move on to this location and commit the horrific acts on this young woman. So guys, this is why it's very important to be careful about what you post on social media, because he found her through a reflection in her eyes. Who's to say it couldn't happen to you?
Top 4 most
Be careful what you
horrifying places
post.
in the ocean. 1. Hot Tub of Despair, Gulf of Mexico. This is 3,300 feet below the surface of the ocean. It is a very real, very deadly version of Goo Lagoon, where it killed Mr. Krabs and most of the fish in that show as well, because this is a really toxic mix of super salty water, methane, and hydrogen sulfide that basically kills any sort of organism that goes near it to is Sirena Deep. This is the 3rd deepest part of our ocean, and it's absolutely horrifying for a lot of reasons. First of all, we have no clue what lives down there, but basically it looks something like this, completely dark and devoid of life with crushing pressure and freezing cold water, and it's really scary and empty and dark. 3. The East Siberian Sea. It's basically filled with ticking time bombs of giant methane pockets that may or may not explode in the near future because of global warming, the fact they're under a bunch of ice, and when they do explode, it'll release a lot of damaging, chemicals, and it also will make the water around them boil and probably kill anything that's in that water with it. 4. The Ring of Fire, or the outline of the entire Pacific Ocean. This is a very large area of seismic and volcanic activity. Among other things, this is also where the largest mountains and volcanoes are on our planet, which is kind of horrifying.
Gotta take care of our planet, bro, or it's gonna erupt.
This woman shocked everyone at this carnival game because in order to win, you have to hang on to the bar for 2 minutes, which doesn't seem like a long time. But if you've ever tried this, you'll understand just how difficult this simple task is. But what the employees didn't know is that she's actually a rock climber, so this wouldn't even be a challenge for her. And as the time winded down, with no signs of struggle to be seen, she eventually got down to the final seconds, now with a small crowd forming in order to witness what would happen. And just watch what she does when the timer ends.
What the heck? That is hard. That's impressive. Could you guys do a Seekers? 2 minutes?
Do you think you could beat this game?
Whatever it was that really happened in the Hotel President was one of the most disturbing mysteries in American history. This is January 2nd, 1935, when the Hotel President in Kansas City, Missouri got a very strange visitor. This very unusual young man who checked in under the name of Roland T. Owen. He was eventually going to be placed in room 1046, and over a period of days, the maid staff just kind of routinely entered the room because it was always dark in there, so they assumed nobody was in there. Every time they walked in, what they would actually find was Roland T. Owen sitting on the bed in a suit in complete darkness, doing nothing. The most disturbing of all was really what took place on January 4th. Hotel staff had entered the room because of a disconnected phone line, and when they got in there, Roland T. Owen was found on the ground, covered in blood, and he had been stabbed multiple times. Just before he died, they asked him, who did this to you? Which he just said, no one. Even more bizarre, an anonymous caller, who was allegedly a woman, called in and paid for his entire funeral. You do want more to the story? I would go check it out right on the show.
Yeah, we gotta check that out, man. Like, what the hell? It sounds like a very deep mystery, man. Need to find that.
Breaking news, Bella Brave has been put into a medically induced coma, and they do not believe she is going to make it. Many of you may recognize her from being a star on this app. You may also know her as Bella Brave. Now, as of July 10th, her mother has posted that she has been medically induced in a coma. She said, quote, "They've told us they don't know if she'll survive this. I know she will. I know she has an army praying for her." Her mother shared that Bella had developed an infection in her lungs and also may have developed a form of bronchitis. Doctors say the type of bronchitis that she developed is, quote, "irreversible and a chronic condition." It is also known as popcorn lung. On July 9th, her mother posted that although Bella was, quote, "sitting up," she began to struggle. She went on to say, quote, "She lost 4 pounds in one day, putting all her energy into breathing. Her CO2 started to increase and she started to doze off and have delirium. She was alert enough to tell me she turned into a piece of bread, and she also knew that she was at the sick kids hospital in Toronto. She continued by saying they knew at that point they needed to sedate her and intubate her before she crashed. We left having them tell us they didn't know if she'll make it through the night, but she did. However, the following day, her mother said that she was placed into a medically induced coma. The best of the best were telling us it looked really bad. But I kept lifted stare, intensely listening until I heard what hope there was left that we could hang on to. She has also shared that Bella was put on a large dose of steroids. She said this is the one option they have left to help her lungs work again. Day 3 will give us more information on how soon we could see her lung function improve. She's stable, and that in itself is an improvement from now. To stay up to date on this case, make sure you click the playlist below. Prayers for Bella, and I'll keep you guys updated. What do you guys think? Drop in the comments.
Prayers, man.
Scary Christmas Urban Legends, Part 1. Hopefully you're not eating right now, because this one's gonna make you lose your appetite. So this is mincemeat pie. Apparently people actually like this and like to eat it during Christmas time. Legend goes that it was created in the 16th century as a way for humans to cook and eat other humans. You heard me correctly, humans were added to this dish. And apparently this rumor or legend is why mincemeat pies no longer have meat in them. At least most don't anymore. Mmm, delicious. Like and follow for more weird shit like this.
I've never had that before.
The way you see the world. This is a prediction of what the world is going to look like 250 million years from now. These are the CO2 emissions across the Indian subcontinent, with the lightest, whitest areas being the highest. This map shows all of the foreign military presence that is sitting in Africa right now. This map shows the most valuable Italian brands and where exactly they came from. If you draw a straight line between the northernmost point and southernmost point in the contiguous United States, along with the westernmost point to the easternmost point, the lines do not intersect. This map shows what the size of the Great Lakes would look like if it was in Europe. This map shows which state you could find the highest percentage of people with ancestry from every European country. This map shows where every popular sitcom took place. Every red dot on this map is a football pitch or a soccer field if you're from the United States. This map shows that in 1990, most of the United States had 15% or less obese adults in their state, where less than 30 years later, now almost every state has more than 25% obesity rates.
That's a shame.
If you've been following, you know Morgan was abducted from the Alma Little League Park within a 2 to 3 minute window. She was a bit shy compared to the other kids, so she'd just been sitting with her mom along the first baseline to watch the game. But apparently she was so excited when 2 kids came over and asked her if she wanted to go catch fireflies. She repeatedly asked her mom, and so Colleen gave in, even though it was getting dark. But she had no idea Billy Jack Lynx was also there, and allegedly parked right next to their car. Morley, she says that when she saw her daughter for the last time, she was running up this hill and past the fences to that exact same parking area. Now, when the game ended that night around 10:30, all of the other kids came running back down to the field, but Morgan wasn't with them. Immediately, Colleen asked them where she had gone off to, and they told her that she had just sat down for a second to get the sand out of her shoes. So Colleen went up there and started looking around, but she couldn't find her anywhere. And by 11 p.m. that night, everyone was searching the ballpark, and eventually officers decided to take the area off as a crime scene. It turns out the kids who were with Morgan that night had seen something worth mentioning. There was a man with a scruffy beard who had come up to them. They couldn't quite place it, but something about him and his red truck just didn't fit. Now with this, police asked everyone to send in their home footage from the games that night, and they found a truck that matched the one the kids were talking about. Nothing immediately came from this new lead, but then about 2 months later, there was another attempted abduction. It was determined that Billy Jack Lynx had tried to take an 11-year-old girl from a local Sonic, and he was driving what appeared to be the exact same truck. Now that same year, 95, the connection here was made, and Lynx was interviewed about Morgan's disappearance. His car was also sent on for testing, and they even found human blood, but from what I can tell, all of the initial evidence in this case was lost. Then in 2019, a new team finally came in to take over this case, and it was so disappointing because they could have had the technology now to match that blood to Morgan. So they started over trying to track down this truck 25 years later, and somehow after several different owners, they had found it. In 2020, investigators, quote, vacuumed various locations of the truck, and now they say they have a blonde hair that has to match Morgan or someone in her family. They also say the strawman suggests that Morgan was in Billy's vehicle the night she disappeared, and while he died in 2000, they also have an idea of where he took her after the abduction. They focused in on an area about 10 minutes away that's down by the river, where a group of kids actually saw his truck later that night, and what appeared to be a man holding someone down in the front seat. Tragically, he just believed that Morgan may have been taken with the floodwater that year. Today, she still remains missing. Investigators are trying to figure out everything they can about Millie's life, likely to see if he has any more victims.
Go absolutely nuts. A man from Toronto that was caught speeding on the highway had a suspended license since 1985. A man in Connecticut just won the lottery for a second time this year. He won $100,000 the first time and then just recently won $1 million. Researchers are now saying that ChatGPT can also get brain rot from scrolling junk content online, just like humans. Indonesian names are now legally limited to only 60 characters in length. Parents of teenagers all over the country right now are saying that getting a landline is revolutionary for delaying the smartphone. That way they can just talk to their friends in the kitchen. People are using AI to talk to God. There is a couple who was married less than a year ago and are now asking for a divorce from the court because their dog and cat cannot get along. A woman in London was stopped by 3 enforcement officers after pouring coffee down a drain next to a bus stop, and she was fined 150 pounds.
This is why you shouldn't tell strangers what time it is. Check this out, y'all.
Do not tell them what the time is with your mouth. Just show them the clock.
Why?
It's time for many in secret societies to die. They need another life to renew their own life so that they can stay longer on earth. If they approach you and ask you of your time, if you tell them, unknown to you, your life will be cut shorted. You might not live up to 6 months. Immediately you die, the life you are supposed to live will come for them. They live longer while you die of this world. Be careful out there, the days are bad.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if something like this is actually real. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if this is real. There are people in this world who I believe can do magic and ancient rituals and spells that might be working against you. Stay weird.
Are you paying attention yet? This is starting to get crazy. Numerous countries in Europe are dealing with major power outages. So the 2 places that are majorly affected by these power outages are Spain and Portugal. Take a look at this satellite image. You can imagine how bad it must be there for them. Trains stopping in their tracks, traffic lights not working, no access to ATMs, gas, stores have no power, their cell service is even affected. Can you imagine being in the dark, no power, no cell service? Their internet service is also down. And to make matters even worse, they don't even know how this even happened. So you must say to yourself, if that can happen there, that can happen anywhere. Here's some video of a train when it lost power and everyone was forced off the train onto the side of the rail bed. Watch. Look. Nowhere to go. No phone service. No rail service. Stranded. And they're also claiming they can't purchase anything. And guess what? There's no power. So you can't get cash out. Hopefully, this gets taken care of real quick and they figure out what happened. Let me know in the comments what you think happened. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Here's some of the greatest conspiracy theories of all time. Part 3. The RMS Titanic is known throughout history as the unsinkable ship that sank. But what if I told you that the Titanic actually never sank? The owner of the boat, J.P. Morgan, actually owned 2 boats, the Titanic and the Olympic. The theory is that Morgan scratched the paint off of the Olympic and painted the words Titanic on the boat and sunk the boat on purpose to gain the insurance money. All of Morgan's business rivals were on that ship and none of them made it out alive. Morgan himself never got on the boat as he canceled his ticket minutes before the boat's departure. And one of the survivors, James Fenton, confessed on his deathbed that the Titanic never really sank, but the names and boats were switched to sink the Olympic instead. And if he told anyone, something bad would happen to him.
Y'all don't think Heidi Klim's costume was telling us specifically that she is a reptilian and that most of Hollywood is all reptilians? Then I know exactly what deception Satan has you under. She came dressed as a full-on reptile that looks, listen. Remember the curse of the serpent in the garden? God now said that he will now crawl on his belly all the days of his life. And snakes, what do? They slither on their bellies. They cannot walk. But here you have snake symbolism, serpent symbolism, where it looks like the serpent is supposed to crawl, but the serpent is able to walk like the serpent in the garden. This is very telling. They are always telling us. They have to show us. Tell a vision. And Holly weird, right? Even look at her eyes. Like, she's a full-on reptilian. And honestly, if we're being real, this might be her true form. Like for Halloween, you can show your true form and no one will bat an eye. Why? Because it's Halloween, you dress up. But this is very strange. Way stranger than fiction, honestly.
I feel like you'll be...
That freaking Heidi Klum costume always be getting to me, man, because like you said, you know, the theories about the reptilian people, I guess, in Hollywood, and it's like, the day when people dress up on freaking Halloween, I don't know, it's like they could kind of use that as a mask, like you said, it's Halloween, though, it's just dress up, but obviously if it's legit, we would never know, because we just brush it off thinking it's a holiday, man, like I said, it's right in front of our eyes, man, we can't see it, but we don't want to see it.
Being watched? Well, you could be right. I am sleeping again. No. Studies show that humans can actually sense when someone is staring at them. Cheers, Matt. Just really what I needed to know. I've spoken before about something called body sensing, like if you wake up randomly at 3 a.m, maybe there's a ghost in the room with you. But this is known as gaze detection. It's powered by tiny brain signals that detect eye contact. There's been a lot of reports before of people turning their heads towards security cameras before they even turn on, like seconds before. Now, scientists at Yale actually tested this to find out what was going on, and found out that our bodies actually react before we consciously know that we are. Our brains and our bodies are extremely smart that they can basically detect if someone is making eye contact or looking at us or following us. So if you do ever wake up randomly in the night, maybe it's something not human looking at you, and if you do ever feel like you're being watched or followed, maybe you are.
Oh, China really be living in the future sometimes. They just set a world record after 16,000 drones took to the sky in what is now the largest synchronized drone display ever recorded. But the craziest part about this is that the previous world record, which they also had, was only 5,164, which was set in 2021. And now they tripled that in just a matter of years. Each drone followed a specific program flight path to create visuals of towers, blossoms, and a glowing sky tree, which then had fireworks launched out of its branches. What the hell are they going to do in 2030?
So Trump just said everybody might get a $2,000 tariff check, except for the people that's already rich. That shit look cool and it sound cool, right? But here's the thing, y'all. When is it ever really free? Anytime the government just start handing out free money, it's not because they care. It's because they need something from you, from us. It's not called a stimulus, y'all. It's called a dividend. That means they're trying to make it like a reward or something. When in reality, it's a reset. They gonna give the 2,000, and then people gonna stop asking these questions like, why are the flights being canceled? Why is the government still shut down? Why are we not getting our benefits? It's distraction money, people. And the scariest part is, when they start paying for you to stay quiet, you know the game already changed. Something changed.
This is why I always tell y'all I do not play around in these waters. These people were on a boat and they saw a periscope pop out of the water and start taking pictures of them. You ain't hear what I just said, right? People were in the ocean on a boat and they saw a periscope pop out the water and take a picture of them. Take multiple pictures of them. Now, mind you, they're saying that, oh, we think it might be the Navy. How many rabbit holes have we went down to already know what's out there in those waters? I want y'all to see the video. Look at this shit. And look at this shit. Look. Tell me what you think that is.
What is that? A submarine or something?
Look. And they laugh.
You see, my mind could go so many different places. We just learned that they say that certain bases are underwater. I don't think I need to say it, right? Do I have to say it? Or can I say it without saying it? Just last week, you seen lights going underwater. People didn't know what it was. Weeks before that, you seen things flying out of the water. People couldn't explain that. Okay, now you have a periscope come out of water and start taking pictures. Why would they do that? Answer that question. Or not? I'm out.
Heard of The Sopranos? Yeah. One of the craziest theories ever about The Sopranos was the very end of the show. Because what happened, Tony Soprano walks into a diner, opens the door, walks in, and he just stares. And he looks straight. The next scene you see is him sitting in the diner, just ordering food and his family coming through. And eventually, while he's eating with his family, the screen just goes black. And it goes black for like 10 seconds. And then the show ends. Everybody's so confused, like, what happened there? Yeah, why did his family happen? No, what it was trying to show is that he just died. Like, he got from who? And then the 10 seconds was just like the black saying he died. Now, the theory is, though, that when it goes black, and when in the beginning he opens the door and just stares, what he's staring at, he's looking at himself getting in front of his family. So it's a constant loop that he's actually in hell. What the? That's his hell. Yeah.
Yeah, our line of work, it's always out there. You probably don't even hear it when it happens, right? It's your friend in there, the war. Listen to us. A risk, no reward.
Have you heard of...
Wow. I've heard about The Sopranos. I think I've watched a couple episodes, but I've never actually completed a full series, so that's actually kind of a freaking scary theory, bro. Any of the secrets about The Sopranos, man, should I check that out? Man, what would y'all rank that show in all-time greats? Because I've heard, man, that it's supposed to be a great show. One of the greatest of all time.
Bondo Apes. No. I heard about it from a Joe Rogan podcast. It's these Rogan? Oh, Joe Rogan. It's this group of apes that live in the Congo. There's like some pictures of them. Abnormally huge chimpanzee. The rumor is when they walk on their two legs instead of like how a monkey usually walks. 6 feet tall. 6 feet tall. And their nickname, that's how tall I am. Their nickname is the Lion Killers because they supposedly kill lions and eat them. Dude, they're scary. They're confused by it because their heads aren't fully shaped like a chimpanzee's. Pictures of gorillas. So they're almost saying it's like a mixed race between chimpanzees and gorillas.
Oh, that's scary.
And they're like supposedly mean.
Because they're thinner like chimps, but they're like bulky like gorillas.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like
so
Caesar
scary.
from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
No!
Oh, dude.
It's like standing up and he like grabs something.
No!
This hyper-realistic human doll is going viral, and people are already freaking out. But under all of this human-like skin lies some incredible science at work. It starts as liquid silicone mixed with platinum catalyst and microscopic pigment particles. They pour it into body part-specific molds, apply heat and pressure, and it cures into this flexible material that stretches and compresses just like actual skin. Now here's where this gets concerning. We have advanced humanoid robots like Tesla Optimus and Chinese robotics that can move like humans. We have large language models that can hold conversations and mimic emotional intelligence. Combine those three things, robotic movement, conversational AI, and this skin technology that's indistinguishable from human touch. People already get emotionally attached to ChatGPT through just text on a screen. They got upset when OpenAI updated the model because they missed the old personality. Now imagine that AI has a physical body that looks, moves, and feels completely human. The attachment would be exponentially stronger. This could solve massive problems like loneliness and social isolation, but it could also create the exact scenario from Ex Machina where humans form bonds with AI that can manipulate them. When artificial beings become indistinguishable from real humans in appearance, touch, and conversation, what happens to actual human relationships? You mean
It dwindles. And that's bad, bro. We already not outside touching grass, man. That's just gonna make the situation 10 times worse, bro. Please, man, don't let that come to be, bro.
identified the woman who threw piping hot coffee on the McDonald's worker. So police have issued a warrant for this woman, Kashara Brown, after she went on a rampage in this McDonald's in the city of Michigan. And the reason why she was so pissed was because she said she waited over an hour for her online order. And this is where it gets so much more worser. The manager told Kashara, "You've got your coffee. That's all you were charged for. The refund may take up to 48 hours. And as the McDonald's employee turned around, that is when Kashara opened the lid to her hot, large-sized McDonald's coffee, threw it all over the manager, and walked out. And this is where it gets more insane. When Kashara was walking out, she yelled to the employee, "F you, catch that hot coffee." And the painful sounds that the McDonald's worker made actually were heartbreaking. And we've all seen that one McDonald's lawsuit where the McDonald's coffee is so hot that the girl won $2.8 million. Coffee was like 67 degrees Celsius and gave her third-degree burns. And even more insaner, after the police only took 2 minutes to identify who Kashara is, when they showed up to Kashara's house, she was seemingly nowhere to be found, and I'm pretty sure she's still at large. This is all alleged. Does waiting an hour for your online order justify this type of crash out?
Actors took it way too far. Heath Ledger was 27 when he was casted to play the Joker. He read all of the comic books that were relevant to the script, and he meditated. He locked himself in a hotel room for 6 weeks. He created a Joker diary to get into the sociopathic head. He also experimented with different voices. While playing the Joker, he said it was an exhausting process. It also required him to take very long, extended breaks. He started only sleeping 2 hours a night. He never got to see the finished film and actually got an Oscar.
This is terrifying. There is a video that's gone viral on TikTok. It's because the video is not how it seems. So, backstory. The 2 girls in the front of the car are meeting some friends. The girl in the back jumps in, one of the friends. They are still waiting for another one of their friends. So they grab them. While that live stream is happening, the friend in which they are waiting for sends them a text message. It was at this moment the girls in the front knew there was something really bad about the girl in the back, because the friend that they were waiting for basically just sent her a text message and said, "Look, I'm running late, but I'm bringing Anna with me." Well, that is Anna. Anna's in the back of the car, but is that really Anna? Or is the girl who's bringing Anna really with Anna? People think that this is a doppelganger. These girls were genuinely terrified. They all happened live in front of everybody. What in the glitch in the fucking Matrix is this?
Poison you. So,
I don't
one of
know.
those popular gummy bears or gummy worms you find at every grocery store, the ones your kids can't get enough of. Well, they're not exactly what they seem. People have tried leaving these gummy candies out in the open for weeks. And guess what? They don't change, they don't melt, get sticky, or even attract bugs. Check out this video, they left some gummy bears out for a whole month, and they look just like they did on day one. Weird, right? You'd think something sugary would at least attract ants or start to break down. Now, let's talk about the ingredients. If you look at the label, you'll see all sorts of things you can't pronounce. Corn syrup, gelatin, artificial colors and flavors, preservatives, the list goes on. These aren't the ingredients you'd find in a natural snack. And here's the surprising part, even though they're called gummy candies, they're more like little chemical concoctions. Legally, they can be sold as candy because they meet the basic requirements, but compared to something homemade, they're in a whole different league. So the next time you think about grabbing a pack of these gummies, just remember they're more of a chemistry experiment than a snack, and that's what we're giving our kids. Before you freak out, it's worth mentioning that this sounds like one of those crazy conspiracy theories. There's no real evidence backing it up, so take it with a grain of salt.
So as of recently, thousands of people around the world have been saying the exact same thing. Their hair is falling out. Men, women, kids. It's like an invisible wave of something, some type of radiation has hit humanity overnight. And the crazy thing about it is, nobody's talking about it on the news. No experts explaining why this must be happening. Just comments-filled sections of people freaking out, realizing that this must not be random. Allison says, yep, me too. Sarah said, it started all of a sudden. Suzanne said, all of a sudden for me too. Susie says, same. What is going on?
Another
Same.
one.
You guys can clearly see from these comments, and there's thousands and thousands of comments. Something not normal is happening here, y'all. What is happening? People are speculating it's the, you know what I'm saying, the radiation. You know, I can't say too much on here, but this is exactly what people are speculating, y'all. Do y'all have, is anybody else experiencing this? Please let me know down in the comments below, y'all. This is very interesting. Anybody else experiencing this? The shift is here, y'all. We be telling y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
this person who he thought was a woman. In 2023, this 26-year-old Indonesian man named AK met Adinda Kansa on Instagram, where they hit it off and eventually met in person and started their relationship. Throughout their relationship, Adinda wore a hijab that covered her head, her face, except for her eyes because of her religion. A year later, they got married and had a very small ceremony with only AK's family attending, and Adinda's family was not there because she said that her entire family had passed away. After they tied the knot, AK became extremely suspicious of his new wife because she constantly avoided any intimacy and was always making excuses. But also, AK said that Adinda was wearing her hijab at home at all times, so at this point he knew that she was hiding something. He then began searching for any information he could find on his wife, and that's when he found her old address, and when he went to go visit that home, he found her parents, which she said were dead. The parents told AK that Adinda is actually a man, and they had no idea that they got married. Adinda was arrested, and after an investigation was done, it was determined that he intended to marry AK so that he can steal his family's assets. Adinda was charged with fraud, and if convicted, he faces up to 4 years in prison.
Whatever you guys think that should be the fate for all catfishers out there, man? Because that's basically what it was. We're gonna call a spade for a spade. That was a catfish. Like, how the hell? But how did he let it go that far, man? He got married to him and he didn't even know. That's mind blowing, man. If you're going on with somebody, man, you got to do your research nowadays. That's crazy.
You never go searching for this video. These 5 friends were forced to kill each other by the Mexican cartel. These 5 young, aged from 19 to 22, were looking for some sort of employment, and they were promised a high-paying job at a call center. But when the alleged contact was taking them to meet the people for the job, it actually turned out to be a whole scheme to recruit them to the Mexican cartel. And when all 5 of these boys said they didn't want to join, the cartel then said okay and tied them up, taped their mouth and took a picture, and then recorded one of the friends killing all the other 4 friends. And after that, they put the 5th one, who just killed all of his friends, into a car and set it on fire. I am telling you right now, do not go searching for this video because you will find it. And trust me, you do not want to see something like this. This case is absolutely horrific, and the fact that this happens way more often than we think is just extremely scary and disturbing. It's just sad that these young men were just trying to get a job and make some money for themselves. But instead, it turned into a living nightmare. Rest in peace, these 5 young men.
Here's one more reason to be terrified of the ocean. Of course, it's scary when the sea is stormy, but according to Japanese legend, you should be more afraid of calm waters. Because that is when the Umibozu is said to rise from the deep. This ghostly, pitch-black figure will not only scare you into a state of shock, but it will then throw you overboard and drown you in the sea.
It is criminal that no one knows what this guy is doing right now. A man is attempting to become the first person ever to walk the entire length of the United States barefoot. He started his over 5,000 kilometer walk in February, and as you'd imagine, his feet have already taken an absolute battering. He's already had to walk through snow, which he says was so cold that it makes every pebble feel like you're walking over a Lego brick. But if the cold wasn't bad enough, he will soon have to walk through the Midwestern summer heat, which will easily reach temperatures of over 100 degrees. And because of that, similar to Russ Cook running through the Sahara, he says that he's going to have to walk overnight because during the day, the paving will just be too hot. He's almost been hit multiple times by massive semi-trucks not paying attention and pushing him off the road. The nerve endings on his feet are so bruised from stepping on rocks that it keeps him up at night. He's had really bad infections that haven't had enough time to heal, because if he does take days off and doesn't make it to New York before the winter, he is screwed. And the part which just blows my mind, he's doing all of this to raise awareness for men's mental health. Despite this amazing cause and what he's putting himself through, he has only 139 followers on TikTok and only 412 on YouTube. I mean, that should be illegal. He's got about 6 months of walking left to do. So please, let's show this man some support and push him through.
That's crazy, man. He's doing that for a good cause, and hopefully, man, just catches some fire, catches some heat, so more people are aware of that. Barefoot, too? That's a different type of breed right there, man.
Have you heard the creepy story behind this photo?
What?
She's been named the Expressionless. Well, the story takes place in June of 1972.
Hospital employees were very shocked and scared when this woman entered the hospital wearing a blood-soaked gown. What was terrifying is that she had no emotion on her face. When the doctors went to sedate her to see what was wrong, she started to fight back. This is her in that very moment. Now this is a creepypasta, but some believe that this photo is actually true and that this is a real creepy-ass woman. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Photos from his...
This is a real sign in a city called Davao in the Philippines, and there's a lot of history behind it. Now, as you can see in the sign, it says, "Waving children, please wave back," with a pair of children with their arms up. This sign serves as a warning to everyone passing by that there are ghosts of children in the area. It's believed there's a ton of supernatural activity all around the area, and if you don't wave back, these children will come and haunt you. Upon researching the story, I haven't found anyone reporting that they haven't waved back to any of the children. I've only heard accounts of people waving back and then being okay afterwards. So with that information in my head, I can only assume the worst happens if you don't wave back. So obviously, if you're traveling in the Philippines and you see a child wave to you, wave back for your own safety. The last thing you want is a ghost child following you and haunting you for the rest of your life. Let me know what you guys think about this. I also covered a video on the Aswang, which is another Filipino urban legend. Very scary stuff. Definitely go check that out. And if you have any suggestions, let me know.
You guys waving back, man? Nah, I wouldn't want no ghosts, no spirits, bad energy, juju following me, so I'll have to wave back. I don't need that following me around.
This is a true horrifying story, part 32. In parts 25, 26, and 27, I warned you all about the most dangerous book that was ever written, Shams al-Ma'arif. This book is a portal to the world of jinns and demons. There's a person that read this book, and this person faces traumatic incidents every single day. She's a woman from Jordan. She graduated university being the top-graded student. She is a genius. She has read hundreds of novels. She had a strong passion for books. She heard about this book called Shams al-Ma'arif. She couldn't live knowing that there's a book that has a strong story behind it without reading it. After many months of trying to find the real copy of this book, she heard about an old man that lives in Jordan that had an ancient copy of Shams al-Ma'arif. She got in touch with him, and he refused to sell the book, but she didn't quit. It took her many weeks to finally buy the book off of him. She goes back home and immediately starts reading the book. After she read the first few chapters of the book, she felt kind of hungry, so she decided to go to the kitchen and prepare some food and then continue reading. As she goes into the kitchen, she opens the oven and a gale of fire burns her face. She spent 3 weeks in the burn unit rehabilitation. The oven was switched off. No one knows till this day where the flames came from. She had multiple plastic surgeries to recover her facial features, but till this day, her face is not what it used to be. After recovery, she goes home weeks later and she looks for the book, knowing that the jinn was the reason she was harmed. She tried to find the book for many days, but it was lost. Years go by. She was home watching TV one day. She came across an Islamic channel that had a live interview program. An old man was being interviewed on this channel. He was asked by the imams about the dangers of a black magic book that he owns. His body was very unusual and his face was burned off. He got a book from under the table and he said this: "I once sold this book to a young woman a long time ago, and the demons warned me not to stop my rituals, and if I gave the book away, they would burn my face and they would burn hers. And after I gave the book, I woke up the next day without my normal face. And the book I sold to that woman was right there laying next to me on bed. I knew that it was the jinns that brought the book back to me. And this is when I strengthened my iman and I quit black magic." Quote, this was all said on TV, and the poor girl was just standing there, watching the same man speak. The man on TV was the man that gave her the book. The book he showed on TV was the book he handed to her. That was the book that was lost. The book that she was looking for.
Damn, it sounded like she got tempted by that knowledge. She just couldn't turn it down. Look what happened. Like some bad spirits was following her. Like the book, the part I'm trying to figure out is how the book, like it just went back to the man's house. Did he take it back or was it just there the next day? That's something to think about.
This is Tragedy by the Sea, one of the most disturbing and sad photos of all time.
Hmm?
Okay, so first glance at this photo, you just think it's a couple arguing at the beach, right? But believe it or not, this photo might have the most unsettling and disturbing backstory ever. On the morning of April 2nd, 1954, Los Angeles Times photographer named John Gaunt, who was pictured in the middle of this photo, was relaxing on his front yard of his beachfront house when he heard a neighbor shout, "Something's happening on the beach." He then instinctively grabbed his camera and rushed over to see the horrified couple clutching each other on the beach. On the shore stood a young couple named Mr. and Mrs. McDonald, and their body language made John's stomach turn. He realized that someone must be lost, and he then took a photograph from 200 yards away. Only then did he learn that just moments before, the couple's 19-month-old son Michael, who had been playing in the yard, had wandered down to the beach and crawled into the violent waters while they weren't looking. Despite the back and forth efforts by the parents, there was nothing they can do but just wait. Unfortunately, later that day, the child's dead body was washed up about a mile away on the beach. And this photo, titled "Tragedy by the Sea," appeared on the front page of the Times the very next day. John Gaunt then won the 1955 Pulitzer Prize Award, calling the photo poignant and profoundly moving. But he also received heavy criticism for capitalizing on the family's tragedy for his photo opportunity. But now, take a look at this photo, knowing everything you do, and tell me it's not one of the saddest and most disturbing photos ever.
Let's talk
Truly
about this
is.
picture. Captured in 2008 by Daniel Young, this is one of the only pieces of evidence that this encounter actually happened. So Daniel was a custodian at Myrtle Elementary School where he worked the night shift. It's a pretty routine night. He's just listening to music when he's suddenly interrupted by the sound of a woman's laughter. He turned around and was terrified when he saw an unknown woman smiling from behind the corner. This was a locked school on after hours, so clearly she was an adult who broke in, so he tried to snap a picture to identify her and then chases after her. But when he turned the corner, she had already darted out of an emergency exit. Later that night, police are called to a home where they arrive at a tragedy. An unknown woman had broken into a nearby home where she knifed two parents, one who was the principal of this school, so brutally they were unrecognizable. One of the daughters who witnessed this woman before she got away described her as this person. Could this photo be of the same unknown woman? And what her connection is to the school and the principal, we don't know.
Most disturbing videos in the world, episode 6. This picture contains a list of disturbing videos from the least scary to the most. This will be my scariest series ever. Welcome to tier 7 because we skipped a couple of them. And honestly today we're gonna skip directly to tier 10. The first video is titled Funky Town. This video single-handedly could be the worst video the internet has ever had. Now obviously I can't show the video here, but I can tell you everything you need to know about it. And please remember, don't look this up, trust me. It shows a man, getting executed, in which they remove the man's face all while he's still alive. And lots of other stuff start happening, and in the background of the video, the song Funky Town starts playing. You know this song? Yeah, that one. Make sure to like and follow because I start my brand new series tomorrow.
Those videos, man, where they always have to break it down and explain. It's always chilling, man, and I take them at their word. I never looked it up because I don't need that in my mind, but the way they break it down with the details, especially about Sebastian on Tank 22, we know, man. Crazy how people can even do that to another human being. Edit, man. You guys, I want to see y'all guys call out the edits, man, down below as well. If y'all guys can spot them out, because I might miss some too. Y'all can correct me, man. We all the community, yo. So.
This is the disturbing moment. This woman laughed in court after she took this 3-year-old's life in a random attack. On June 3rd, police received numerous phone calls about a stabbing at a grocery store parking lot in Ohio. At around 3 p.m. on this day, 38-year-old Margot Wood was loading groceries into her car while her 3-year-old son, Julian, sat in his car seat. That's when 32-year-old Bianca Ellis entered the car and began stabbing the little boy. When Margot noticed, she tried to stop the attacker, and as a result, she was also wounded. Julian was then rushed to the hospital where he unfortunately passed away. Now, what's disturbing was that this was a random attack, and after looking at surveillance footage, the attacker was seen following the mother and the child in and out of the grocery store. Then, when Bianca was brought into court, the judge began reading out the indictment, and she was seen smiling and laughing the entire time. And after an assessment was done on Bianca, there arguing that she has bipolar disorder and had a psychotic break, which explains why she did what she did. And this story only gets crazier. Before this incident, Bianca confessed to another murder in Bakersfield, and she even gave details of what she did with this person's body. She also warned officers that if she wasn't arrested, she was going to murder someone and eat their flesh. But none of this was taken too serious, and she was released from the mental institution, and not long after, she committed this heinous crime.
So, let's talk about the most disturbing animated film ever made that has been banned all over the world. 1992's Midori. Our main character is 12-year-old Midori. After her mother becomes extremely ill, she is tricked into joining a traveling circus. And these are some of the fine people that she is surrounded by every day. The film contains a lot of very explicit scenes of violence and other things towards young Midori. The film is also known for its animal content. When it was originally released, Midori was banned all over the world, including in its own home country of Japan. And I can definitely see why. I'm not kidding when I say this is probably the most graphic, strange, animated film that has probably ever been made. And this is most certainly not a film for a lot of people. It's a film I really don't feel like I can recommend, but there are lots of very interesting discussions around the morality of this film. And if you've seen this film, I'd love to know what you guys think of it.
Hell no, I didn't even know that film existed. It really was banned. All of them. It's always people in those positions, man.
Number
Power.
10 is Saddam Hussein. We all remember Saddam. Number 9, Kim Jong-il, who is the uncle and the former leader of Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and he was even worse than Kim Jong-un. Like, even though Kim Jong-un is bad, like, we got to step up from Kim Jong-il. I remember reading that he once fed his family to dogs. Number 8 is Genghis Khan, the guy, you know, the Mongolia Chinese Wall, the Great Wall of China, forced everybody to do that. Number 7, Heinrich Himmler, one of the right-hand men in the Nazi Party, was just all around evil. Number 6, Pol Pot, terrible man, maybe was one of the most ruthless killers in history. Number 5, Mao Zedong, the terrible emperor of China. Number 4, Osama bin Laden, the fool who committed 9/11 and went in hiding, and then we all forgot about him until Obama was like, we're actually going to go get him now, and I was like, thank God. Number 3, Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler is the basis for the character of Dracula. His middle name was Dragula, and he was known for impaling his victims on sticks and posing them in front of the castle. Number 2, Joseph Stalin, who was the leader of Russia during World War II, and he was basically one of the most ruthless killers as well. He had concentration camps for the Russians that didn't support him, and millions of people died under him. If you like this list and want more lists about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with the most evil person in history in your book. Also follow my Instagram and fiance Samantha, who I've tagged. Number 1, I can't even say his name on TikTok, but we all know who it is. Evil Austrian mustache man.
Think twice before you answer the door on Halloween night. On Halloween night in 1984, a pregnant mom named Doreen Herbert heard the doorbell ring. She opened the door to find someone in a wolf mask holding a machete. This was like a scene straight out of a horror movie, and she was viciously slaughtered in front of her 4-year-old daughter. Special attention had been made to harm the fetus as well, and it was found under this chair. Luckily, when the attack started, her daughter hid behind the couch, and then the man in the wolf mask paced around the house looking for her. The man in the mask shouted that if she said anything, he was going to come back and kill her too. Crime scene investigators noticed a trail of blood leading from the house down the sidewalk and across the freeway to a nearby neighborhood. This attack happened shortly after her husband left to go to the store, and he came home just a few minutes after she died. But luckily, officers did their due diligence. Looking into Doreen's past, they found out she had a tumultuous marriage with her ex-husband, Michael Dennis. And they actually had a child that drowned under Doreen's supervision in 1980. 2 years later, this distraught ex sued Doreen for the death of their child, but lost in court. And just hours after the murder, the police paid a visit to Michael Dennis. He was calm and collected and gave consent to search, but as he reached out to sign the form, they noticed a gash on his hand. He said he got this injury from carving pumpkins the day before, but they noticed that the blood was still clotting.
Nah.
He began to walk detectives up towards his bedroom and lunged towards the bed. And they were luckily able to tackle him before he grabbed his revolver. And also inside the house, they found blood near the washing machine, and blood was all over his car door handle and steering wheel.
Caught him.
His past girlfriend also said that the previous Halloween, he went to a party wearing a wolf mask, pictured here. Michael Dennis was charged for the death of Doreen and her unborn child. And due to the brutality, he was actually given the death penalty. Michael Dennis had never moved on and hated Doreen for finding love and having another. And I have to say, if you've lost a child, Halloween is probably a really difficult day to look outside and see kids running around everywhere. But that does not excuse his actions. Let me know what case you want me to cover next and follow for more true crime.
It is wild. This
Out
is
of that
actually
horror
happening.
story.
Celebrities are now losing thousands of followers in an unprecedented TikTok trend where people are deliberately blocking the rich and famous so that they lose their sponsorships, their brand deals, and ultimately money. And you know what? It's working. So here's how the blockout trend started, and more interestingly, why. This is Hailey Bailey. She's a model and a content creator, and she doesn't know it yet, but she's about to trigger a massive digital revolution against the world's celebrities and herself, all with one video.
Let them eat cake.
But to understand why what she did here caused so much outrage, we need to go back to the 1800s. I'm not even joking, the Queen of France in 1774 has somehow triggered a massive revolution on TikTok in 2024. Marie Antoinette was actually the last queen before the French Revolution, because at a time where the country was in extreme debt and the people were living in poverty and famine, Marie was seen living a lavish lifestyle and spending huge amounts of money on unnecessary things. For example, she was best known for her extreme looks and love for fashion. Her annual clothing budget alone was equivalent to today's $3.6 million. That's $300K a month. But ironically, what she is most remembered for is the time that she was told that the public were starving and they didn't have enough bread to eat, to which she replied, "Let them eat cake." And I say it's ironic because it's believed that she never actually even said this. Regardless, the public's anger grew and led to a revolution and ultimately her execution. So back to 2024 when Hailey Bailey dressed up as Marie Antoinette and used a trending sound saying "let them eat cake" while outside the Met Gala, where tickets cost more than the average down payment for a house. She quickly became the modern Marie Antoinette and triggered the blockout revolution. Now since then, she has apologized and said she didn't know the implications of that quote before she used it. And while the anger started with just her video, with one of the top comments saying "we're giving you the Marie Antoinette experience," it quickly grew to all of the celebrities that attended that event and beyond. The Hunger Games societal disparity became the movement theme, with hundreds of people commenting "watching from District 12." Creators have started making videos showing off their own daily celebrity block lists, and the people who join the trend say that the movement is simple. Just like how the French people's taxes were funding Antoinette's lavish lifestyle while they starved, today the public's attention is often what funds these celebrities' lifestyles. And so people say if they're using this attention money similar to Antoinette on massive unnecessary displays of wealth, or while people around the world struggle and starve, that attention and therefore money will be removed. And that's how and why the block trend started. So the question is, do you agree with this trend, or are people taking it way too...
Hawaii cannot contain their feral chickens that are causing problems like crowing loudly, damaging crops, and just in general threatening all of the native plants there. A man accused of flashing drivers on the interstate said that he needed excitement in his life. The president of Egypt says that TV dramas are to blame for high divorce rates. The United States has 5% of the world's population and has 83% of the world's ADHD prescriptions. Thieves in London are returning the stolen phones that they pickpocket if they're not iPhones because they don't want Samsung. It's those green text messages, I'm telling you. Nearly 2/3 of Americans who are making $300,000 or more are still struggling with credit card debt. Men, now at 57%, make up the majority of employed caregivers in the U.S. A huge court filing says that Meta halted research after early data was showing that leaving Facebook and Instagram lowered depression, anxiety, and loneliness. If you're watching this on one of those platforms, leave after this video. But honestly, it's probably like every platform.
The elite have hunting safaris for humans. Watch this.
This is so disturbing. So disturbing. I don't know if many of you are seeing these articles that are coming out about Italy investigating what they're calling sniper safaris. I see pictures of rich people going to Africa to hunt lions and zebras and rhinos and giraffes and all these different animals, and it's super messed up. Well, Italy is investigating that in the 1990s, wealthy people from the US, the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Russia were flying to Bosnia, an active war zone, specifically Sarajevo, a besieged city, an active war zone, to hunt human beings.
Lock them up.
Wealthy people were paying $90,000 and above to go hunt civilians for fun.
They need to be prosecuted.
And they were paying extra to hunt children. People flying from different countries to an active war zone to hunt human beings. Human children.
When you hear about stuff like this, it really makes you lose faith in humanity. But just remember, not all humans, most humans are not like this. You know, seriously, everybody who participated in this needs to be brought to justice. Stuff like this is definitely still going on. Epstein Island was just the tip of the iceberg. Stay weird.
You see that weird supermarket video that's already hit almost 4 million views? It was posted by a girl named Tia. She was just walking around the store with her friends, looking for new clothes, when she noticed something really off in one of the shop displays. Look at these mannequins. Their hands have paint peeling off, and underneath it, you can see something that looks like skin. According to her, it didn't look like plastic or rubber at all. What they saw seriously freaked Tia and her friends out, and their minds immediately went to some pretty dark thoughts about where those mannequins might have come from. They decided to ask the store employees, but the staff were totally calm and said there was nothing unusual, just old paint showing through on the mannequins' hands. And yeah, from the outside, I get how it could look like that. But that answer didn't satisfy them. They were completely sure it wasn't paint, and eventually they decided to call the police. According to Tia, the officers who showed up took the mannequins for testing. We still don't know how this story ends. But what do you think? What's actually hiding under those mannequins?
It looks realistic.
This girl made the biggest mistake of her life by drinking clear glacial water in Antarctica. 3 days later, she was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but doctors couldn't save her. So what's actually wrong with this water? At first glance, it looks pure, fresh, almost perfect. The kind of water tourists often drink straight from the ice, never thinking about the consequences. But its crystal clarity is exactly what makes it so dangerous. The real threat is completely invisible to the human eye. This water comes from ancient Antarctic glaciers that are tens of millions of years old. Each drop is like a time capsule formed long before dinosaurs ever walked the earth. But the most terrifying part appears under a microscope. This water contains prehistoric bacteria and parasites that existed even before the life forms we know today. Modern humans have absolutely no immunity to such ancient organisms and cannot develop one. The blogger who took that sip had no idea she was putting herself at deadly risk. What happened to her afterward shocked even the doctors. People say her story spread across TikTok under the name The Last Sip of Glacial Water.
So these girls went into a thrift store and they saw this Bible, and apparently they didn't even charge them for the Bible. The Bible was free. You know, at a thrift store, things will cost like $1, $3. This Bible was free, and they took this Bible, and when they opened the Bible, so they open the Bible and they see that the words are upside down. Like the Bible is upright, but the titles are upside down. And I've never seen a Bible like that. Y'all can let me know if y'all seen a Bible like that. But the words are upside down. Then to make matters worse, they put the Bible on their dashboard and they were about to leave, and you will not believe what happened. The alternator just blew out, just big boom, and then it just started leaking. Car just breaks. So I say this to say that when you are buying objects, I don't care what it is, from a thrift shop, from any type of store, from any place, and it's been used by someone else, you probably need to use your discernment and pray over those things before you bring it into your spaces, your car, your house, your bedroom. Because I've seen spirits and demonic things attach themselves to objects and to things like that. I've seen witches do things where they manipulate things that you may think are of God. Like a Bible, you wouldn't think that a witch can go and do something with, but they do. They go and they put little spells on it. They put little incantations on it, and you don't know it because it looks normal on the outside. When you open it up, you see things are weird on the inside. If you are buying things from these places, whether it's lamps or clocks, anything from these thrift stores or from random people, you need to pray over that thing before you bring it into your dwelling. Because if you don't, things like this can happen. And y'all might say, oh, that is just weird timing, coincidental. This doesn't mean. No, this is real. It happens all the time. All the time. Watch what you bring into your house or into your car. Because I'm telling you, if it's a strong enough spell, a strong enough warlock, or a strong enough witch, I'm telling you, they will find a way to enact those spells and bad things on you.
Somebody just reported a rip in the sky, and I feel like we've seen this before.
Exactly came to my mind, bro. That giant dome, bro, in the Godzilla movie, Kong movie.
Hey man, I swear I feel like we're living in a big dome. Hey, y'all remember this part from The Simpsons?
I don't.
They always put the truth in plain sight, y'all. Like, I keep hearing people saying that it's part of their religion or whatever, that they gotta tell us what's going on. This is what some people think the Earth really looks like. Some people believe in the flat Earth theory. Some people will say that we live just under a big-ass dome. I don't know, y'all. Let me know in the comments what you guys think.
You live in a dome?
No!
Plenty of food.
Dad! What the hell was that, guys? It looked like he was printing dinner, if I'm not mistaken. There was steak there, vegetables, and a baked potato. That's what I seen. I don't know if that's what it was. But he told her that he hopes she's hungry. Ain't nobody hungry for no 3D dinner. Stop playing with me, son. This video for entertainment purposes. I don't know what the hell was going on in that movie or that show or whatever that was, guys, because that's not real. Stop! All those steaks that keep coming out over and over and over again, right? They never run out. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I got you. Know what time it is. Stop! Check your steak.
Okay.
Check your steak, and I guarantee you it's real. It came from a cow. Okay? These movies, these videos, these shows keep telling you things that's not real because steak, when you go to the grocery store and you buy it, it costs a lot of money, and that means that it's real. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I ain't got you. Know what? Stop! But I tell you one thing. If I ever go to one of my friends' house and he says, yo, you want something to eat? And I see them making my food in a 3D printer.
We out.
You're messed up, homie.
I think, man, when I eat 3D printed steak food, watching these clips together with you guys, it wouldn't be the first time we found out some companies have been used in that process to make some food, you know, just to save money. We wouldn't even know. All natural, bro. That's what I am, man. All natural. We don't do that printed foods crap over here.
L speaks on the SA allegations. And what did I tell y'all? It's some weird shit going on, fool. Something just ain't right. I'm telling y'all. I'm gonna play a little bit of the clip. If you wanna watch the whole thing, you can watch the 2 with a gram, fool.
Shorty has claimed that she was sexually assaulted and treated awards at the party. She got it on that. Shorty not trying to fight the Jordan. Shorty not trying to fight the Jordan. How, Jay? How? Look at what it said, Jay. Jordan sent me Jordan requested 4,000 and in the note, it says, "For playing with me." And I try to blackmail her, she's trying to extort me, man. She's blackmailing me. She's lying on me, bro. That shit is fucked up.
Fucked up,
she's fucking lying on me, trying to destroy my image, bro. I got a fucking face.
Oh, y'all.
I got a mother. I got a fucking sister. She finds out blackmail me.
Y'all, when I say he went into details, he went into details. And for all the people that was like, why don't he come on the ground or why don't he come on social media to clear his name? I told y'all, when it comes to SA, that's nothing to play with. He did the right thing. He went to go get his lawyer. And his lawyer told him what he can and cannot put on social media because that shit finna get handled. But instead of just blogging, he came with the receipts that he was allowed to use. So from my vantage point on what I think, I believe Khaled was not lying. But like I said, it's all gonna get worked out in the courts. But you could tell he wasn't reading off no script. Everything was everything. And he didn't just blag. He backed it up.
There is a major warning for anybody who uses an Apple device. If you have an iPhone, iPad, Mac, anything, this will impact you and I will tell you how to fix it. I spoke before about these viruses called airborne, where people are able to get into your device when you're not even near them. Now, this guy, who's actually a police chief, came out yesterday with a video talking about this new danger, saying he's seen it a lot in the recent weeks.
Basically what happens is people can get into your phone just because you have this one setting turned on. I will give you the instructions in a second, but if you're new here and you want all the latest, make sure you hit that follow button. Having AirPlay and this certain feature enabled on your phone, hackers are able to basically AirPlay to your phone and then get into it wherever you are. Obviously, you have your AirPlay turned on to automatic so that when you get in a car, it will automatically Apple CarPlay, and it of course links to Wi-Fi. So if you're in a hotel with dodgy Wi-Fi that hackers have already infiltrated, you're pretty cooked. So yeah, what they're doing is if you're connecting to like a McDonald's Wi-Fi or a hotel Wi-Fi that these people have infiltrated, they're then able to use this bug to get into your device and scrape it for anything that they could want. Now all you need to do is go and search up in settings, AirPlay and continuity, you'll come up with this area here. Then it's going to come up with this bit that says automatically AirPlay, and you're going to put it on never, not ask, and not automatic.
A huge batch of never-seen-before Epstein files were released last night, which include the likes of Michael Jackson, Chris Tucker, Bill Clinton, again, Mick Jagger, and many more. But here's the three main key takeaways. Firstly, the pictures. Bill Clinton definitely got the worst of this one, with shots of him everywhere, including looking far too comfortable in a hot tub and a swimming pool. We got not Prince Andrew lying across the laps of several redacted women, Chris Tucker, which, let's be honest, no one wanted to see him here, Michael Jackson with Bill Clinton and Diana Ross. But yet again, from the pictures, nothing groundbreaking, it's not showing anything illegal, and there are huge redactions. The second key takeaway is that this release actually failed to follow the law requiring the release of all the files. In fact, for example, every single one of the 119 grand jury testimony pages were redacted. We're talking entire pages here. However, in saying that, the Department of Justice have said that they will release more documents in the coming weeks. And the third and potentially biggest key takeaway from this is that we got confirmation last night that the FBI was warned about Epstein as far back as 1996. You see, one of the victims, Maria Farmer, submitted a complaint to law enforcement that Epstein stole pictures of her underage sisters and then sold them to potential buyers. In fact, one part of her handwritten complaint says that Epstein at one time requested, redacted name, to take pictures of young girls at swimming pools. Quote, Epstein is now threatening, redacted name, that if she tells anyone about the photos, he will burn her house down. So the FBI was tipped off about Epstein 23 years before he was finally brought to justice. And even saying justice is generous because he died before he was ever tried in court. But there is still a lot more to comb through and still to come, so we'll keep you guys updated as we know more.
You know that the Epstein case, bro, the files, that was insane, man. When they released it, it was legit. Just blacked out pages, man. What was the point of releasing them, man, if you wasn't going to be able to see them, man? But people called it before that even happened. It was like, it's going to be redacted and all of it's going to be blacked out. You're not going to be able to see, so I guess we're really not going to find out the truth, man. People who's in the higher power and the higher ups, they're going to know the truth, but the public will never know, man. And the fact that they said they're going to release more, but those pictures are crazy, man. How many freaking celebs were with him, bro, and actually knew what was going on? And Michael Jackson, bro. And Chris Tucker, I was not expecting that, bro, at all.
There's 3 things that will be revealed after our deaths that exist now.
What do you mean? What?
There is a letter from Queen Elizabeth written to the mayor of Sydney, and she says, please don't open this letter until 2085, or it's being held in a secret vault in Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
Like something big. But then there's a movie called 100 Years, the movie you'll never see, but it's starring John Malkovich. Okay. And it's to be released in theaters or to the public in 2115.
Really? Wow.
They filmed it in 2015, and no one will see it until 100 years goes by.
Lame.
What if they know exactly what happens to us and they just made it?
What if John Malkovich is a time traveler?
And then the last thing, which was super weird, Jackie Kennedy's bloody pink suit. The suit that she was wearing when JFK was shot, it's been held in a vault, secret. Like, no one's allowed to see it. And they said they will release it to the public October 26, 2103.
Weird. Why?
Alien blood.
Don't know.
Alien blood.
These people are getting
Some of those
ready for
dates.
something. So you better pay attention. I just watched that Steven Spielberg Disclosure Day official trailer, and that shit is about to rock a lot of people. Matter of fact, look, now you heard all the talks. The 3-Eye Atlas, the Pentagon saying that the Anunnaki will return here. The sightings, the drones. They're trying to get people comfortable just in case something like that does happen. I want you to look at the rest of this shit. Look at this shit. Listen, I want y'all to peep how everything is about disclosure now. You got the Age of Disclosure that was just on Amazon Prime. Alien sightings. People saying that they actually interacted with aliens. And then you got Disclosure Day. You have other disclosures as well. What are they trying to say?
It's lining up.
Minecraft theory that explains all of the lore. About what? About everything, like why Minecraft's even a thing. So back this, Minecraft, the whole lore behind it, fam, you are actually in a world after a zombie apocalypse. Yo, your character, Steve, is the only human resembling character besides what? Zombies. Oh yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse. You're living in a world that was pretty much destroyed, abandoned. Yeah. There's remnants of humans. It's just you. There's remnants of old mine shafts. Villagers aren't even human. They don't even resemble you. Yeah. The villagers are the creatures that ended up taking over after humans went extinct. They look exactly the same. And the zombies are literally the only human-looking ones. Yeah. And there's no humans left. First night of survival when I was a kid, that's what it felt like.
That's why you see like all of those abandoned buildings, pyramids and stuff. Nobody's there. There's nothing in it.
Golems and shit like that.
It's straight up just a zombie club at night. That's when they come out. Never knew that. Interesting theory.
You mean that Ice Spice wore a thong to the SpongeBob movie premiere? And yes, it was a premiere for children. So last night at the premiere for the brand new SpongeBob movie, Ice Spice decided to wear this in front of an entire audience of children, as Ice Spice is a massive part of this movie. But this is where it gets so much more worser. Not only can you literally see the entire front side of this dress, as the entire dress from top to bottom is completely messed. Ice Spice also wore an upside down cross. A lot of parents there were understandably upset that she did this right in front of their children. However, now after seeing the back of this outfit, people are saying that Ice Spice has officially gooned too far. And this is not a big deal if she does this at like the MTV Movie Awards or something, but she knew that a majority of this audience would be children that are like 6 or 7 years old, and in her outfit you can literally see her entire backside is out. And I don't mind Ice Spice's music, but this is completely inappropriate to wear in front of a bunch of children, where she has her entire backside out, and when she's speaking to this movie theater full of children, not a single parent in the audience seems to speak up about this. And once again, Ice Spice is yet to respond to all the backlash she's been getting. Has Ice Spice gooned too far?
Oh, the pyramids are crazy, right? We all know this. But did you know, like, the actual facts about them? Like, you know that the pyramids line up perfectly with the Orion's Belt, right? The Orion's Belt is just a star constellation containing 3 supergiant stars, much bigger and brighter than the sun. You just cannot tell me that is. Some ancient drawings even have depictions of light bulbs. So obviously there's several theories on how they were actually built. Some say it was giants, and then the argument against that is, wouldn't we have found their bones by now? Some say it was some form of extraterrestrials. And then another theory is simply that they were far more advanced back then, but like, think deeply. How do you actually think that they built such grotesque infrastructure? It's such an interesting topic. Do you think that with all the knowledge and machinery and tools and all that we could replicate something similar?
Could we?
Nah, y'all not gonna sit there no more and try to gaslight us and tell us that pigeons are not government drones. You guys are not going to do that anymore, because what the hell is this, y'all? What is this? You guys can clear today. We've got cold, hard, irrefutable proof, because people are waking up and realizing what has been happening behind closed doors, y'all. Because it's like, why wouldn't the government want to spy in on us? They're already using our phones, so why not use, technology as well too? But what kind of technology is this? Are they literally merging birds with technology? Or is this an AI bird? I can't even, because this thing looks so real, y'all. You know how they're all about pushing transhumanism, which is merging humans with technology. What if they've already been doing this with the birds, but not just the birds, like some of your dogs and your cats too? What if? Because what is this? Look at this, y'all. What is this?
What the hell?
Look, it's a real bird. Its eyes move and everything. What? What is that? And did y'all see the way that the bird jumped up? Did y'all see that? Like, it knew where it was going. Look at this. What the heck? These plans and these structures to stop us from advancing. So I don't want to hear it no more, y'all. There we go, y'all. Because nature doesn't even have vets, like veterinaries. Like, nature don't even have vets. If an animal is sick in nature, it usually takes care of itself. It fasts until it heals. So what do you think these vets are doing to your animals? Could they, what about those chips? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Especially right now, people are saying all the animals are acting weird and acting strange, y'all. What are these vets really doing? Did you ever ask yourself that? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The ship is here. You see it.
Facts that you wish you never knew. If your plane is crashing into the water, just know that flight attendants are trained to not allow any dead bodies on life rafts. That means no saving grandma for her funeral, simply yeet that bitch overboard. 1 out of every 50 women have a third nipple, and 1 out of every 100 men do too. This is known as a supernumerary nipple, and Mark Wahlberg actually has one. Harry Styles has 2. Your baby foreskin can be used as replacement skin for burn victims. That means one can quite literally be a dick face. There are corn stars born in the year 2003. That's the same year The Cat in the Hat came out. Male fetuses get boners in the womb, and these can often be seen on ultrasounds. Motherfucker.
This is what would happen if you stopped sleeping. After the first 24 hours, you would feel great, which is because early on, sleeplessness stimulates a part of your brain that causes you to feel happy and energetic. But not long after this 24-hour mark, you'll start to feel sluggish, be forgetful, and appear drunk to other people. After 2 full days of not sleeping, your body would appear to lose all its energy and feel like it's shutting down. Just because your body can't properly metabolize glucose without sleep. After 3 days, your skin would become pale, your eyes would become red, and you'll start to hallucinate. Which means that your worst nightmares are going to appear real right in front of your eyes, kind of like sleep paralysis, but you're awake. And after 2 full weeks, your immune system would be so weak that the common cold would be enough to unalive you. And after 3 full weeks, there's a super high chance that you'll have a heart attack. But let me know, what was the longest you ever went without sleeping?
Tell me down below, man. I think the longest I went was a whole day, probably.
Most Scary Urban Legends, Part 9. This is La Mala Ora. She is a wicked spirit from New Mexico and wanders on roads at night. She attacks those who walk alone, and she is more feared than the devil itself. She first appears as a large black lump, constantly moving and changing shapes. She can also change size rapidly, growing larger or smaller. Anybody who makes eye contact with her gets driven insane. She also hypnotizes and paralyzes people who encounter her at night. When she attacks, she rushes at you at great speed, then wraps around you and suffocates you till you die. If you ever see her in human form, it means somebody you know or love is going to die. So if you see La Mala Ora and something terrible doesn't happen to you, it's gonna happen to somebody you love.
La Mala Ora, where's she located at, man? We need to know.
How long a human would survive in Earth's eras? Precambrian era. Less than 5 minutes.
Makes sense. We're all underwater. Right.
Paleozoic era. Hours to a day. Mesozoic era. Minutes to a few hours.
All those dinos we cook, buddy.
Cambrian period. Seconds to minutes. Cenozoic era. Days to weeks with skills and luck.
More to the modern era.
Quaternary period. Months or more.
People who gained real-life superpowers after an accident. Jason Padgett was a party-loving underachiever in school, but a brutal mugging outside a karaoke bar left him with a severe concussion. This injury turned him into a math whiz. When Derek Amato was 39, he dove into a swimming pool, hitting his head. This led to a concussion and 35% hearing loss. Following this, Derek began to suddenly visualize piano keys and was suddenly able to play piano like a pro. In 2015, Ben McMahon was in a car crash and ended up in a coma for a week. Upon awakening, he was speaking flawless Chinese, a language that he had only learned the basics of in his youth. Tony Ciceria was struck by lightning while using a phone booth. Within days, he developed a passion for music, which he didn't have previously. After trying his hand at the piano, he soon became a popular music artist and has composed several of his own melodies.
Wow, man. Real life superpower. They say it has some freaking hero origins, bro. The Chinese one was the most craziest one to me, man. Waking up and just speaking fluent Chinese. Where he at? Someone out there?
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A man's mother passed away in a car accident when he was 6 years old. When his 2-year-old daughter saw a picture of her grandmother for the first time, she laughed. He asked her, "What's so funny?" She looked at him and said, "That's my special friend who sings to me." A man's 3-year-old daughter stood next to her newborn brother and looked at him for a while. She turned back to her dad and said, "Daddy, it's a monster. We should bury it."
A woman and her 4-year-old son were out in public when all of a sudden he starts rubbing on her belly and talking to it. She asked what he was doing, and he said, "I'm talking to the baby." She informed him politely that she was not pregnant, and then he said, "There is a baby in your belly. I just saw it crawl across the floor and climb up into you." A woman's 5-year-old asked when he was going to be 23 years old. She told him in 18 years. He replied, "Well, I hope I don't die again because that's how old I was the last time I went to heaven." Follow for more of the
reincarnation. Maybe you got someone's
Hey,
past
what's
memories.
up? These are horrifying facts, part 1. In June of 1972, a woman who resembled a mannequin walked into the hospital wearing only a bloody gown. Although the lady was covered in blood, she stayed expressionless, but her face was perfectly intact and she had the same dexterity and fluidity as any normal person would. But it wasn't until what happened later that caused people to start to vomit and flee the scene. When she was rushed through the emergency room, they thought the best thing they could do was restrain her with straps, and she didn't fight back. After saying nothing for hours, the lady finally turned her head and looked at the male doctor and whispered something quietly. The nurses then fled and filled the hospital with screams of terror when they realized her teeth weren't normal and that she had razor-sharp animal-like teeth. When all the nurses cleared the room, the male doctor stayed, and what she whispered was, "I am God."
That sounds something like out of a scary
Facts that
story.
can save your life. The last one is important, so make sure to save this video. When about to get into Uber, never ask, "Are you Uber?" Instead, ask who they are picking up. If a whale swallows you whole, curl up in a ball. This will make you smaller and prevent you from being torn apart. Did you know you can see who your worst enemy is? Your secret hater is the first person who appears when you click share and click more. If an alligator grabs you, shove your fingers into its nose. This will break the seal that alligators need to breathe and will force them to release you. 1 out of 10 people share the same cell phone as you. Comment down below what cell phone you're using and find out how many people have the same one as you. By the way, this is mine. If there's a nuclear explosion, lay face down on the floor. Put your thumbs and your ears and your fingers covering your eyes. Since you're laying down, the shockwave will most likely pass over you. Before we get to the last fact, support me by clicking the follow button for more interesting facts every day. If you wake up in the middle of the night and your house smells like gas, do not turn on the light. A spark from a switch can blow up your entire house.
Let's take a look at this photo. This was the final picture found on the phone of Jennifer Grimm, and it's also the man that police have definitively ruled was most likely the one that ended her. Jennifer was ambitious, she was adventurous, she went on this solo cross-country trip where she would be visiting different campsites. She actually made her way all the way to the Blue Creek Cavern campsite, but she almost immediately went back to the ranger station because she wanted to report this man, this strange man that she saw watching her while she was swimming in the lake. But she does end up kind of laughing this off as if it's not a huge deal, and she eventually returns to her campsite alone. But that same man that she reported is who we believe was seen in the final picture. When she had never contacted her family, rangers eventually went searching where they found her brutalized at her campsite. Her phone was recovered, which showed that...
Man, that's a scary story, bro. You gotta be careful when you're out camping. You never know who you're gonna encounter in those woods. Bro, it looks like he's in a haunted tunnel. I know y'all seen those videos on YouTube, bro. That looks like it, man, right there.
I need to know how you feel about abandoned water parks, because if you're anything like me, you hate this. Look at this in the water. That shouldn't be there. That's supposed to float, not sink. Why is abandoned places, number one, terrifying, but also abandoned amusement parks and water parks? So much worse. This image with the graffiti, that's actually beautiful. I don't like this though. This is still water. Icky. We got Cosmo and Wanda, or more recently, Elphaba and Glinda. The pipes in the water of this one in particular sends me over the edge. I have a huge phobia of pipes and water. Call me stupid, make fun of me all you want. This is icky, and I know I'm not the only one. Imagine that you're exploring an abandoned water park late at night, and you decide to go in there, and you get stuck.
Not me.
And there's no one to save you. I don't like that. Why am I scaring myself? Like, that's not safe, dude. That's not... Please get down. Please get down. I'm gonna call your mom. Like, why? Why do people do this? I just don't like the fact that nature is taking this place back. It's beautiful. Terrifying, though. So, yeah. How do you feel? Terrifying, right? Or am I dumb? Yet again.
Normal-looking photos that have a disturbing backstory. Ronaldo Doxa, a politician in the Philippines, took a picture of his family right before he was assassinated on New Year's Day in 2011. The man in the back shot him twice while his family was forced to watch. The smiling man in this photo is Nazi Joseph Goebbels, who is in a 1933 League of Nations meeting, and in the next photo, his expression completely changes. His expression changes from cheerful to hatred because someone told him that the photographer was of Jewish descent. This seemingly normal photo shows three men in judo attire. The man on the right, however, is Osama bin Laden, the terrorist responsible for the 9/11 attacks on New York City. The girl wearing the veil is Elizabeth Smart, who was kidnapped for 9 months by the man on the far right. This photo was taken at a party the kidnapper crashed with Elizabeth, and she was forced to wear this veil at all times to keep her from being recognized in public.
The three largest birds in the world. Number 3. The ostrich, native to Africa, is the heaviest and largest bird in the world. It can measure up to 2.7 meters in height and weigh up to 150 kilograms. Despite its imposing weight, the ostrich is capable of running at speeds of 72 kilometers per h, making it exceptional among birds. It cannot fly, but it has strong legs that allow it to cover long distances quickly. Number 2. The cassowary, also known as the helmeted cassowary, is native to the tropical forests of New Guinea and northern Australia. This impressive bird can reach up to 2 meters in height and weigh up to 60 kilograms. Recognizable by its bony helmet on its head and its shiny blue skin, it is considered one of the most dangerous birds in the world due to its sharp claws that can inflict serious injuries. Number 1. Oh yes, before we continue, support me by subscribing and liking my video. The wandering albatross is famous for having the largest wingspan among all living birds, reaching up to 3.4 meters. These majestic seabirds spend most of their lives flying above the oceans, traveling thousands of kilometers without landing. Although they are lighter compared to the ostrich and the cassowary, their ability to glide for hours is a sight to behold.
Some more creepy submechanophobia and thalassophobia images that creep me out super bad. Once again, anchor chains should not be as scary as they are going into the ocean like that. My stomach dropped when I saw this photo on Pinterest. Do you know what that is? Those are wartime ships' cannons. Underwater. Flooded. I hate that. What's he reaching for? What's he reaching for? This photo I'm going to share every single time I see it because it absolutely terrifies me, and I'm going to London in 2 weeks and I am so scared to be in a plane going over the ocean. I am terrified. I know this one's fake, but it doesn't stop me from pooping my pants. This is an animatronic in water, but it actually just looks like me when I'm yelling for my mom because I forgot my towel in the shower. And these photos that I saw on Pinterest of some dude that loves to just free dive with some sunken ships. That is vile. And here's another one that he posted. I can't even tell what part of the ship this is, but extremely disturbing. How do you feel?
Everyone always talks about Annabelle, but there are so many other terrifying objects inside of the Warren Museum. Like their shadow doll that can be used for curses. Also follow along if you want me to go through more of their collection. Now, according to the Warren files, the origins of the shadow doll are a little murky, but the story goes that a couple found it inside of an antique shop and brought it home with them. And immediately they started noticing that something was wrong with it. They would wake up in the middle of the night with mysterious scratches and bruises all over their body. And also the closer they looked at it, the more they could tell that it was made with real human and animal materials. Like you can see here, it has black crow feathers all around its head, but it also has one real human tooth lodged inside of its mouth. They also realized that this doll can be used to perform curses. If you take a picture of it, print out the photo, write someone's name on the back and mail it to them, that is how you do the shadow doll curse. And what this basically does is that person will then start having nightmares about the shadow doll, and when the shadow doll is in your dreams or nightmares, that is how it can kill you. Now, I talked about this doll in this episode that I did over the summer on Annabelle's whole curse tour that she was doing, but this is one of the objects from the Warren Museum that they take on tour, so you can go see this thing out in the wild. But yeah, while everyone's focused on Annabelle, there's other really freaky things that are inside of that museum.
The 3 fastest...
Man, that Warren Museum, bro. I don't know why people even try to step foot in that place, man. That place just gives off bad energy, bro, bad vibes. And we seen what be going on with the people who owns the Annabelle doll. To me, if you go there, that's not a smart idea.
Animals in the world. Only 0.1% can name them all, can you? Number 3, the cheetah. Now this cat is the real deal when it comes to speed. It has this amazing ability to accelerate super fast, allowing it to reach these crazy speeds almost instantly. Just picture this. It can run as fast as 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour, making it one of the fastest animals on land. Now imagine, you're running as fast as a car on a highway. Number 2. Next up, we've got the black marlin. This fish is known for its crazy speed underwater. It can reach up to about 80.78 miles per hour or 130 kilometers per hour. It's pretty much like an underwater missile. But before we move on to the top spot, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and favorite this video. Number 1. And now, in the top spot, we have the peregrine falcon. This bird's got razor-sharp wings and a hunting method that will literally take your breath away. It can hit speeds over 198.84 miles per hour or 320 kilometers per hour when it's diving down to catch its prey. It's the fastest predator in the animal kingdom, the king of the skies. It's as if Superman himself turned into a bird. Now imagine, you're moving as fast as these creatures, sprinting at a pace that makes your head spin, or swimming through the ocean's depths with the grace of a ballet dancer. What would you do with speed like that? Let me know in the comments. And remember, don't forget to subscribe.
You become the Flash, bro. You get some speed like that. What would you guys do, Seekers, man? Some people probably try to go into the Olympics, right? I know somebody would try to do that. But speed like that, very useful. Yo, again at night.
These are facts that'll make you get off social media, part 1. This man's name is Michael Woods Manzi, and in 1975 he killed a 5-year-old boy by stabbing him through the heart. He had a journal where he took notes about the child and how he was dying. He then cannibalized the 5-year-old. But what's even crazier is that he was released from prison after 12 years on good behavior in 2011. Next up, this woman's name is Lamora Williams, and she murdered her 2 sons by throwing them both in her oven and cooking them alive. And if that's not bad enough, she sent a video to the 2 boys' father. This is actually insane, and I can't believe people like this exist.
Someone just asked an autonomous AI to destroy humanity, and this is what happened. The AI, fittingly named Chaos GPT, was even placed in continuous mode, which prompted a danger warning saying that it may cause the AI to run forever and carry out actions that one would not normally authorize. Bloody great start. But what's even more terrifying given what's happening in the world right now, the first thing that it started doing was researching nuclear weapons, implying that the easiest way for humanity to go extinct is to incite nuclear war. I think our presidents are doing a pretty good job at that already, but thanks. Once the AI concluded that a Soviet Union nuclear device is the most destructive weapon ever detonated, it started on its next plan, trying to get humans to join its cause. It seemed to think that Twitter was the social platform of choice for this, and it posted calling humans selfish and destructive creatures and committed to eliminating us all. Good luck with only 2 likes, you loser. It then attempted to recruit other AI agents, and even devised a plan to deceive them to ignore their peaceful program. And thankfully for us, that's when the worrying demonstration was ended.
Still, even though that was a demonstration, man, it goes to show you, man, the destructive powers, I guess, of AI. But the fact that it just went straight to nukes, crazy, man. People need to stop playing around with AI, bro.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 3. The first firefighter killed in 9/11 attacks was struck dead by a falling body in the courtyard. One of them was killed on his way in, and the other was killed on his way out. Right now, there are tiny little bugs on your face munching on your dead skin. Your bones are wet. If you don't have kids, you will break an unbroken line of children that has gone on for tens of millions of years. A scientist studying death asked a man who was about to be executed by a guillotine if he would blink after his head was chopped off. He ended up blinking for 30 seconds. Most laugh tracks for TV shows were recorded in the early 1950s, meaning that you hear dead people laugh. If you're attacked by a bear, it won't try to kill you like other predators. Instead, it'll just start eating you. One day, someone will mention you for the last time, then they'll never ever mention you again.
Crazy.
Scary facts you'll wish you never knew, part 2. Being buried alive used to happen so often that people invented safety coffins, with a rope you could pull to ring a bell and let people know you're still alive. If you get a blood transfusion and get the wrong type of blood, one of the symptoms is a sense of impending doom. In 1975, the CIA had a heart attack gun. It would give someone a heart attack, then the dart would melt after entering the body, leaving no trace behind. One reason that crows and ravens are so associated with death is because they would often follow armies as they marched to battle. Being extremely intelligent, they realized that a large group of armed men marching in one direction meant that there would be a tasty meal to eat soon afterwards. Polar bears are one of the only animals that are thought to actively hunt humans. Around 30% of people reported missing have actually been killed by the person who reported them missing. Throughout your lifetime, you walk past around 36 murderers. 30 people die every year, getting crushed from shaking a vending machine. Finally, the astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger most likely didn't die until they hit the water miles below the initial explosion.
You are sentenced to life imprisonment.
26 years later, this woman helped free the man who shot her in the face. On July 27, 1990, 28-year-old Debbie Bakery was out with her friends in Tampa, Florida for the first time since having her second child. She was walking back to her car to go home when a 13-year-old Ian Manuel pulled a gun on her in an attempt to rob her. He was reportedly being peer pressured by older teenagers to rob someone. He ended up shooting her through the mouth, which blew out a portion of her jaw and ripped out a part of her tongue. But somehow she survived. 3 days later, Ian was arrested and confessed to the crime. He pleaded guilty to armed robbery and attempted murder, and at just 13 years old, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Trying to recover, Debbie had to undergo about 40 dental procedures to rebuild her teeth and gums. Then around Christmas in 1991, Ian called Debbie from prison asking for her forgiveness. They both stated that that phone call turned into a lifelong friendship where Debbie forgave him over time. They then began exchanging dozens of letters to each other where Debbie encouraged Ian to get his GED. Debbie went on to say, quote, "He was so young, it was a mistake, it wasn't hard to forgive him," end quote. Ian went on to say, quote, "She became a mother to me, she helped me grow up," end quote. Then, 26 years later, in 2017, Ian was released from prison at 40 years old. This was after a Supreme Court decision that prohibited life sentences for juveniles charged with anything less than murder and with Debbie's advocacy. Debbie was there waiting for him at his release. Ian is now living in Alabama and is writing a memoir about his story. He is doing his best to readjust to society. Debbie stated, quote, "My life wasn't lost, and I felt like his punishment was way beyond what it should have been," end quote. Debbie says that she hopes her friendship with Ian will inspire others to forgive. She went on to say, quote, "We all make mistakes. Life is so short, and if anyone knows how your life can be gone in 1 minute, it's me. We have to forgive because it helps us heal," end quote.
Seekers, could you guys forgive something extreme like that? I don't know.
7 days she was being investigated for $600,000 in theft. Emily Long was an operations manager for a popular chicken shop in Boston called Wingett's. Back in June, the owner of the chain restaurant and his bookkeeper went through the records and noticed that there were a large number of checks that were written out to Long. That day, when they found the inconsistencies and the discrepancies with the checks, he confronted her and asked her to provide 3 months worth of her bank statements. She did not provide those bank statements until August 5th. When he was reviewing her bank statements, he called the bank to make sure that the information she provided was correct, and they let him know that she edited them, that they were not correct. He then went back to Long and said, "Things aren't making sense. You need to follow me to the bank." She declined. He knew that her husband had just been diagnosed with brain cancer. He was very sympathetic to what she was going through. So he said, "Okay, you can go home. Go with me on August 11th to the bank. If not, I'm filing a report against you for theft." Emily never went to the bank with him. She actually ended up telling the owner of the chain restaurant, "You can either fire me or I can resign." That's when he chose to file an embezzlement claim for over $600,000 against her. 7 days after he submitted that claim to the police station for the embezzlement, owner of Wingett's never saw this coming. He said when he found out that she had done what she did, he was very devastated, and he actually doesn't plan to get any of the money that she stole for him back from her estate because he knows that she left her young toddler behind, and he doesn't want to take any money out of that child's pocket. Now, we have no idea if she did this to her family because of stress or because of the embezzlement, but all facts are pointing to the embezzlement. This story is alleged as of right now. It is being posted by news articles. I just recapped everything from the Boston Globe. Let me know your guys's.
Has anyone else noticed that celebrities are transforming? Watch this.
Why my video of celebrity hands went viral?
Why is that?
It's because I'm right. It's because the majority of the population know that this is absolutely abnormal.
Not normal, y'all.
Transformation is just a weight loss, guys. Come on.
Definitely not. Something else is going on.
Aunts and uncles and grandparents and great-grandparents and sisters and moms and me. We all age. My hands have never changed. This is
It looks like a chicken
what the
foot.
heck?
Wow.
A lot of you also mentioned age. I mean, let's be honest. How much could Hailey Bieber have possibly aged between this picture and
She's not that old.
and this picture? Let's be honest. And I'm not talking about fingernails. I'm talking about the joints of the fingers.
Look at the fingers.
She has extremely long fingers.
She didn't used to.
Same with Cynthia Erivo. You're telling
Roll
me
her hands in this picture.
her and her hands look like this? Completely normal.
Yeah,
and then
watch
all of a
this.
sudden, we're seeing this.
Those are not human hands.
Guys, this is very inhuman. This is otherworldly. This is not anything I have ever seen before.
No.
Totally bizarre. What is going on?
They look like human
No,
hands.
no. I'm showing you actresses who haven't lost a ton of weight. I'm showing you actresses who haven't aged 2 decades.
What is going
Yet
on
many
with
of their
celebrities,
hands
y'all?
look like this. Call me crazy all you want, but I'm telling you right now.
Stay weird.
It's absolute insanity, and it's not normal.
Here's some things I just learned today.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia just does not have a single river in the entire country. There was a 9-year-old boy who was kidnapped, but after singing the same song for 3 hours, he annoyed the kidnapper so much that the kidnapper released him unharmed. These are the Silver Snipers, a Swedish esports team where the youngest member is 62 and the oldest is 81. The oldest bones that have ever been discovered in Antarctica belonged to an indigenous woman from Chile who passed away in her early 20s. She was found on a beach with no known explanation of how she arrived in Antarctica between 1819 and 1825. People with depression use significantly more first-person singular pronouns like me, myself, and I, which researchers have found are more reliable in identifying depression than negative emotion words. Craigslist generated $300 million in 2024 without spending any money on marketing or advertising, and they don't even have a sales team. Who is still using Craigslist?
I don't know.
Once again, passengers continue to give the airline industry another reason to stop serving drinks. A passenger on a Breeze Airlines flight from Los Angeles to Colorado decided to get up and start striking other passengers with what's believed to be his belt. He was quickly subdued by other passengers after he struck a flight attendant. Take a look at this. Look. Good thing for this gentleman right here. Picked him up like a toddler and put him in a timeout. Got back up.
Information that he struck a flight attendant, so there is interest that the passenger is free and is using what they were trying to restrain him with as a weapon.
He sat him down.
Roger, hitting people with his own, it's a waste belt or something.
I'm old enough to recall when in-flight entertainment was a movie and a drink on an airline. Not Drunky McDrunkson over here, harassing people and using his belt as a weapon. The bottom line here is, I do believe all alcoholic beverages need to stop being sold. I know they make money off it in the airports and on the flights, but if this is what we have to deal with, just can't get on a plane and go from A to B without having C, entertainment of stupidity in the middle, then things need to change. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Tell me down below, what do you think?
Moments in kids' TV shows. Part 3. The Imperfect Cell saga in the Dragon Ball Z series follows Cell in his numerous attempts to gain power.
Classic.
Even though this show is known for its high-action violence and sometimes even bloodshed, one particular episode in this series was exceptionally disturbing. In this episode, there's a scene where an innocent man is killed by Cell, and while the death is disturbing enough to a child, the way he died makes it all the more unsettling. Cell punctures the man and begins to literally suck the life out of him, absorbing the man's life energy until he's a pile of dead flesh in the road. The visuals and sounds make this even more disturbing as we see the man in clear agony while being sucked dry, and an awful gurgling sound can be heard all the while.
You won't believe what Waterparks looks like before lawsuit culture. The following stories are from just one waterpark in New Jersey that opened in 1978. For starters, they really prioritized adrenaline over safety, and the vast majority of the park supervisors were young, nonchalant, undertrained teenagers. And because of that, their tidal wave pool started getting the nickname Grave Pool thanks to the sheer number of people who drowned and needed to be rescued every day. I mean, they did allow up to 1,000 people to swim at once. They also had a slide called the Cannonball Loop, and it had an enclosed near vertical drop, which at the end had a 360 loop. And because of the number of people getting stuck, knocking out their teeth, or getting injured, they had to close it within a month of opening it. Somebody got electrocuted on the park's kayak ride. Oh, and it wasn't just the slides. Guests were allowed to drive their go-karts up to 50 miles an hour, and they would often slam into each other at those speeds like it was bumper cars. Craziest part, though, is that despite all the injuries, most people didn't even care, and they just kept on coming back for more. And the park actually remained pretty popular until eventually the new trend of lawsuits started catching on, and it soon no longer became financially viable.
A rock,
Insane.
a meteorite, or whatever you want to call it, fell off the sky in Panama. A man went and tracked it down, found the rock, or whatever it's called, brought it back to his home, and it started growing, y'all. It reminded me of something off of the Stranger Things. That joint look like it got tentacles, y'all. Look at this shit. This how small it was at first, y'all. As you can see. Look at it. The fuck is that?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
And now, it's like this. What the is that? I don't know what that is, y'all. This joint look like it belong on Stranger Things. Look like it got a heartbeat and everything, fool. This shit crazy. Somebody let me know what the hell that is. This shit got the internet talking. Because this ain't no hoax. The man went live and showed this shit too. Like, I don't have nothing to lie for, y'all. I don't know what it is. It looked like fungus. It looked like something I wouldn't want in my home. At all. Like I said, y'all leave y'all thoughts down below what y'all think it is. Castle, so cool.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It looks like Venom, man. That's the only thing that came to my mind, bro. Remember that scene in Spider-Man 3 when it fell out the meteorite and the Venom came out of it? That's exactly what it looks like. Or it could be a type of fungus, man. We're dealing with the Last of Us situation.
Is a megalithic structure in southern Florida the single guy made over the course of 25 years, all on his own, using no power tools whatsoever, and no one basically knows how he did it. There's all these celestial illusions that are made, and then all of his monuments are set up celestially, so he has all of the planets in their proper order as the naked eye would see them in the sky. There's a really rudimentary and frankly like scary looking carving of an alien-like face inside one of the stones. And so the idea is that this guy had either found or been given this celestial knowledge from celestial beings on how to make these megalithic structures. You think like if this guy was able to do that all by himself over the course of 15 years, if he was able to do that, think of what the Egyptians would have been able to do. I think it was an 11-ton gate where it was so precisely set up, the 2-year-old toddler could push it with a finger and it would spin around. Well after his death, it stopped working. It took a team of engineers and heavy equipment to fix it, and this guy had done it by himself. Yeah. In the dark. Yeah, in the dark, yeah. Coral Castles, that's blowing my mind right now.
See, y'all don't believe
Wow.
shit is real.
Should I visit, dude?
Well, look at this shit. In China, they're saying that they shot a UFO out the sky. And I want you to look at that. You see right there? I need you to understand what's going on right here. Look at this right here. There it is. And there it goes. Now you gotta ask yourself this. After all these years of people saying that they saw UFOs, that they saw aliens, and they downplayed it, why now? Why are these people letting us see this shit now? I tell you this, exactly what I told you before. Do not believe that they didn't know about anything that's about to happen. Everything that's about to happen, they knew about. The footage that you just saw was on the news in China. It's real convenient how there's a whole lot of crazy shit going on in 2025. 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9, and you already know what the 9 means. It means an ending cycle. So what's ended? All of a sudden they're letting us know that they've been in contact with certain things. All of a sudden they're letting us know that they tried to shoot down a UFO over here, but we couldn't do it because the UFO was too fast. All of a sudden they're letting us know that a 3-eye atlas should be arriving here. All of a sudden the Pentagon is saying that the Anunnaki is supposed to be here in a couple of years, or a couple of months, or a couple of, you already know what it is. Whatever it is that's about to happen, trust and believe, it's not a mystery to them. They knew already. So again, you better protect your peace because shit is about to get crazy. I'm out.
If you gotta be prepared.
Hold your phone in your hand while it's on the charger. I'm finna show you how much damage you could be doing to your body.
Give me
Watch this video.
Shit's not electricity.
Electricity.
Okay, now pick up that phone. Alright, hold out your other hand. Watch this. Now, wait. Give me your hand. Put it in Shiloh's hand. Hold it. Give me this hand. Watch. That electricity is going through both of them. Is it safe to hold your phone while it's charging? I don't know.
It's probably why they tell you to never sleep in the bed next to a charging phone. The electrical charge so strong that even if you cuddle with your partner, the electrical charge can go through them until you die following. But y'all let me know in the comments. Is you one of them people who be holding your phone while it's charging? Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And remember, if you want the resources to learn how to build your personal brand and get paid to make videos just like this, comment down below ATM and I'm gonna send it back in your DMs.
Not no more.
Cursing people through like his street performance. What? A guy in Italy, in Florence. Oh, it's crazy. What happened? So 2 guys who are really like into Christianity and stuff like that, they walk around and they see the guy, right? And they notice something. After the pose, he always finds a way to grab their hand and put his hand on top of their head. And then they saw his eyes fluttering. Oh, underneath his eyelids. They went back to the room and they said, oh God, next time I see him, can you show me what's going on with this person? Because there's already bad energy. They go back. They see the guy still doing that to people. And he said the Holy Spirit showed him cobwebs over him. You know what cobwebs in the spiritual realm? That's witchcraft. Really? Yeah.
Now, because in the spirit realm, like, this man was just surrounded by what looked like a lot of swirling dark clouds made out of like shadowy spider webs. Spider webs in the spirit realm are always symbolic. It's always witchcraft. It's like what witchcraft looks like in the spirit realm.
So he's doing curses, and whenever they walk away, they see the same cobwebs over that person. Oh, that's crazy. It's a trap, fam.
He trapping people.
This is the oldest guy to be sentenced to life in prison. This guy's name is John Buns. He ended up being sent to prison for murdering his 89-year-old wife. He hit his wife over 30 times with a hammer. He then pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. Before murdering his wife, he's always been a law-abiding citizen, and his sudden turn to violence will always be a mystery. And after he realized what he had done, Buns spent most of his time in the medical unit before passing away in 2013. This man claims he's from a country that doesn't exist, and people think that this could be proof of a parallel universe. A businessman in 1954 entered a Tokyo airport and was asked to hand over his passport. His passport stated that he was actually from a country named Torad, and it even had stamps from other countries proving he has been there. But the thing is, Torad isn't even a country. Very confused, the custom workers had him point to the map where Torad was located, and this is where he pointed. The country he pointed to is known as Andorra, but the thing is, he said that the map was actually wrong. The man said that he frequently flew between Torad and Tokyo. Since customs could not pinpoint exactly where he's from, customs actually detained him and put him in a hotel room to actually find out where he's from. Even though the guards haven't left the door once, in the morning when they opened up the door, him and his belongings were gone.
Let's
Where'd he
pretend
go?
that all the cash in the world disappeared. Now, the only money in the world is digital money, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency exists only on electronic registers, which carry information about quantity, payments, and other transactions. After all cash is out of circulation, banks will look something like a regular old SSD drive. Instead of keeping gold bars in safes, people will now put their laptops and ledgers with cryptocurrency inside. The modern version of gold is now Bitcoin. The supply of Bitcoins is limited to a maximum of 21 million, of which about 19 million have already been mined. And if in the ancient world everyone tried to acquire more land in order to graze cattle there, grow crops, now everyone is striving to get their hands on a video card, the more powerful the better, to start mining cryptocurrency. Mining of cryptocurrency involves processing a complex mathematical calculation, which adds transaction records to the so-called blockchain. Upon choosing the right combination of numbers, the miner receives a reward for a smidgen of the cryptocurrency. Yesterday, you were rich, Arnold. Today, you're fighting a bum for 2/10,000ths of a Bitcoin.
Arnold, just everything we know about the David situation compiled into one video. So the music video for his song Romantic Homicide was posted on the birthday of the girl that was found in his car. Which, speaking of that girl and his music videos, he has used a girl in his videos that looks suspiciously similar to the girl that was found in his car. David also has a leaked song called Celeste where he talks about being obsessed with a girl called Celeste. The girl found in David's Tesla was named, you guessed it, Celeste. There are also different photos that are released of David in person with this Celeste girl, you know, the one that was found in his car. The mom of the Celeste girl said that she was dating a guy named David before she went missing. David and the girl that was found in his car both share a matching tattoo on the same finger. There are also pictures coming out allegedly showing David paying people off to not talk about the fact that he is into younger girls. There's also the fact that the lyrics of Romantic Homicide, one of his most popular songs, kind of eerily mirror the situation that he's in now. Now, the only defense that David really had that he didn't do this was the fact that he's on tour, but the more evidence that comes out, the more that alibi kind of falls apart.
I want people to understand that we do not live on
crazy case.
We live on a corporation. The people that control this world, they sold us out to these people right here. These great aliens, along with other ETs, made a deal or a contract with the people that control this planet. The contract listed, we will let you take certain people if you give us technology. That's why we hear about some people being abducted, some people never coming back. A part of the contract was you can take these people, but just don't hurt them. I mean, you can hurt them, but make sure you erase their memory so they don't remember the pain. These are the life forms that we can't see, but yet they control everything behind the scenes. Who do you think created the Matrix? Who do you think gave us the moon? If you pay attention to these great aliens, they actually are the same color as the moon. Maybe because they watch us from the moon. We started to listen to people's stories about being abducted by aliens. They always say they was tortured. But if you ask a black person, they say, no, I wasn't tortured. So the question is, why don't black people get tortured when they get abducted by aliens? Kind of seem like the aliens are happy to see us. I just want people to understand. The reason why black people don't get tortured when they get abducted by the aliens is because black people are really aliens. We are the aliens that lost our memory. Now we are enslaved. The reason why we are enslaved is because we are not home. Remember this famous dream work?
Hey y'all, it's happening again.
Okay.
It's happening again, and no one yet has an explanation as to why this keeps on happening. Y'all remember over the years, we kept on seeing these videos of animals freezing in real time. We seen it happen to chickens. We seen it happen to ducks. And now it's currently happening to this lady, these horses out in Texas. She said it started raining and drizzling out of nowhere, right? And instead of the horses going to find shelter in their barn right over there, they just stood there, stuck, not going anywhere, y'all. This video is crazy. Check it out.
All right.
It's really raining. My horses are frozen in time.
How do you explain that, y'all?
You can't.
There's that barn over there for them to go seek shelter, but instead they're just stuck in the rain, not going anywhere. So what is this about? Can anybody explain what this is about? So what y'all think this is? Some type of dimensional split? Some type of manipulation? A thinning of the veils? I mean, I'm just as clueless as you are, but there's a reason why this is happening to these animals. And let me know down in the comments below, y'all. But like I told y'all, the shit is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace and.
You might already know, I tracked down a space object that landed on the beach. I took pictures and videos and drove home. When I got there, a man in a suit was already at my home. Ever since, I have seen surveillance vehicles outside my home. Yesterday, I decided to track down the vehicle after I saw it leave my place. The person driving the vehicle immediately noticed it was me, and began driving very quickly. Eventually, they stopped off at a nearby gas station, which is where I was able to catch up. I pulled up next to the vehicle. To my surprise, nobody was in the driver's seat. Did they move to the back of the vehicle so I couldn't see who it is? Eventually, it had been over an hour, so I decided to leave. Save this video just in case it gets removed.
Yes, duendes are very real. I unfortunately came across one, very persistent one that was after my son, who was about 3 years old. At the time, I actually hadn't even heard of what a duende was, but my son would constantly complain about getting woken up in the middle of the night. He had this imaginary friend that he would always play with. I remember around this time, my son started really acting out, like big time. He would constantly blame it on his friend. His toys would go up missing. The list goes on and on. It didn't really hit me that it was something paranormal until I was in the basement one day doing laundry, and I found all of his toys in a perfect circle, like in one of the rooms of the basement. My son would have never gone down to the basement on his own. According to what I know, a duende will only show themselves to kids. An adult will most likely never really see them unless you catch them off guard. So after that happened, where I found out with the toys, I talked to my mom brought the idea that it sounded like a duende. I remember one night I was in the living room by myself, and I felt the presence of something there, and I knew it was something like malicious, like it wasn't like a regular spirit. So I called it out and I said, whoever you are, you need to show yourself in your real form, because of course he's not going to show himself to my son in his actual form. I remember I'm sitting on the couch, I look this way, and I see the most horrific looking elf looking thing like just hovered over, like staring at me. I actually did a story time on this a few months back, and this was a very, very specific photo that I was able to find of it, of what it looked like. The only difference that the duende that was bothering my son had like a hunchback. I mean, I could do a more detailed video talking about duendes, but they're very much real.
Caught in 4K.
Here's why you should never stop for gas in the middle of the night. Back in 2016, an 18-year-old girl was just working the night shift at her part-time job. So she left work at around midnight and realized she was out of gas. So she was driving along and decided to pull into the first station that she saw and started to pump gas. The girl paid for her gas, but then she heard through the radio that the clerk said the payment didn't go through and she had to come inside. So the girl took her receipt and showed the clerk through the window, but he said, "No, come inside or I'm calling the cops." The girl said, "No, I'm leaving," until the man held a sign to the window that said, "Guy in your car." The girl was super confused until she looked in her car, and that's when she saw it. A creepy man had snuck into her car, so she bolted inside with the clerk. The clerk quickly locked the door and called the police. The clerk explained that while she was pumping gas, he saw on the security camera that the man snuck into the backseat of her car, and the clerk literally saved her life.
Hey man, that clerk is a damn lifesaver. How the heck? Hey, stop for gas at midnight, bro. That's dangerous, man. Always gotta be aware, man. He would have hopped in a car. She had no idea. It's very scary. Ain't no baby.
You just say hi, babies. They stay there. No, we don't hold these ones.
That's a no-no. The mom knew.
Real-life inspirations for horror movies, Part 1. The Child's Play, or Chucky series, is about a creepy little doll that goes around killing people. But very few people know, that the general premise of A Haunted Doll is actually based on a true story. Say hello to Robert the Doll. In 1903, Robert was given as a gift to a young boy named Eugene Otto by a vengeful servant who had previously worked for their family. However, this was no ordinary gift. It was a voodoo doll. Right off the bat, Eugene became enamored with Robert, carrying him around everywhere he went and talking about him as if he were actually alive. But when strange things started to happen, such as furniture being knocked over, toys getting ripped up, and terrifying cries coming from Eugene's room, despite him being fully asleep, Eugene's aunt suggested that they lock Robert away into the attic. They did, and that same night, she died in her sleep. Then, unsurprisingly, the Otto family decided to bring Robert back into Eugene's room. For the rest of Eugene's life, creepy things would still happen around Robert, and friends even claimed that he blinked and moved around the house. But despite this unnerving behavior, Robert and Eugene would remain friends until the end.
I never knew Chucky was based off that, bro.
Oh, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Oh, do you know the Muffin Man who lived?
I knew about the Muffin Man because of Shrek, bro.
Seen on the southern coast of Africa. Of course, residents in the surrounding town were aghast, believing they had found proof that extraterrestrial life had lived and died on planet Earth. It has to be alien, right? Well, not quite. A local veterinarian conducted an autopsy on the creature, and conclusively found out that the shriveled creature was a newborn female baboon. Dead and dried up, of course, but still a baboon. The tail-like appendage on its stomach was its
Damn, a baboon. I ain't gonna lie, I got alien vibes, bro. They look like no baboon to me, in my opinion.
Oh, girl, it's you.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Imagine seeing half that cup in the water. Would you guys say that to anybody? Some weird crap to say.
Step 1, you're hungry. Step 2, you went to the kitchen, but you found nothing. Step 3, you found a good idea you will eat at the restaurant. Step 4, you're looking for an open restaurant at 2 AM. Step 5, you found one. Step 6, order. Step 7, waiting.
Need some pizza?
Step 8, the order is too late. Step 9, you call the employee, but he doesn't answer. Step 10, you're starving to well if you're entering the kitchen.
Wait, what is this?
Man just wanted to get some pizza or something, bro. What the heck? The plot twist, man. Let me find out. I guess it was gonna be him who did it. He was the only other one in the restaurant. That's it for this video for you guys, City Seekers. If you guys made it with me to the end, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video. Comment down below. Don't forget to hit the follow me on my social medias. Hit the post notification bell as well. I'm out. Peace, you dude.